Okay, we are live. Hey, you guys. Look like it's a bunch of people in the chat. Hey, hey,
Oh,
hey.
you know what they want to talk about.
I bet they know what they want to talk about. We got Jay on the line for you guys, everybody. Say something, Jay.
Oh, hey y'all. Hey y'all. Happy Friday.
Oh, man. Listen, I got to say, Haley Aaron kicked butt this week. What y'all think?
Yeah, actually, she did. Yes.
You're not really sure?
No, she did. If we're isolating her from the actual storyline itself, yeah, she killed it. Good for her. But I have some complaints.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead. So, welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk, where Bree. Oh my God, me, T, Bree, Jay, and then Keisha will be coming on the line shortly. She's a little bit running late, and we're going to discuss The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful for the week of the 20th through the 24th. Now, we did not have an episode on Monday, so we do have 4 additional, from Tuesday through Friday. Normally we do The Young and the Restless in the first half of the show. Then we have a little bit of a break, few housekeeping things. And then we do The Bold and the Beautiful. And then we have segments at the end. Our Flip the Script. Who's taking several seats? Star of the Week. Pickle of the Week. And who wins the Simp Olympics this week. So, yeah, we got some stuff to talk about on both shows. And, hopefully you guys been keeping warm because it has been insanely cold this week in the Midwest. Right, Jay?
Yes. My goodness. Single digits.
I think it was -2 what was that, Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was brutally cold out here. And Bree, did y'all get some cold weather down there?
Um. Well, northern Florida, they got some snow.
Okay.
So, but our cold is not comparison to your guys' cold. Let me say that.
Yeah.
I think we got to the 60s today.
Oh, shoot. I would take that. Heat wave. Listen, that's like a heat wave up here. Shoot. Girl, I wish. I'd take 60 right about now.
It's okay. We're going to send some warm air up your guys' way. It's supposed to get warm, I think, by next week again. But that's why I try not to complain.
Look like the people in the chat, Cheryl Hines said it was -2 in Philadelphia. It was cold and lots of snow in Topeka, Kansas. Arctic cold for downtown Brooklyn for Vicky Langer. Jenna said it was down to the teens. It's cold in Dallas. T.A. Monique said that in South Carolina it was 26 degrees and they were flipping out. I was 26 is warm to us. Wow. 7 degrees, she said. Yeah, girl, yeah, that's January for you.
Yeah. Stay warm, you guys. Like I said, I'm going to send some warm weather up your guys' way. I cannot complain.
Well, the other thing, the month of January just flew by. We are actually, next Friday, it's going to be the 31st. Just that fast. Mm-hmm. We were just celebrating Thanksgiving, and I know that was a long Christmas holiday for me, especially without my car. But
yeah,
finally got the car back, you guys. I got it back the week before last, and yeah, this whole month just flew by. I'm like, but I mean, it brings us closer to spring, so I'm happy about that.
Yes.
Yep. So
starting a brand new year.
I know, right? All right. So without any further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this Y&R recap. I'm going to do a summary and then we'll break it all down. So, for The Young and the Restless for the week of the 20th through the 24th, Claire puts a twisted plan in motion and Nick and Chance uncover new evidence. Chance and Nick connect Jordan to Ian, and Claire brings her aunt to the Newman ranch. Jordan goes to extremes when cornered by the Newmans, and Sharon frees herself from the sewer. And then Sally surprises Billy, and Jordan's reign of terror comes to an end. Alright, so where y'all want to start? Because it looks like it's one big run-on storyline this week, except we got sprinkled in with Jack and Diane and Billy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like for Friday's episode, I think.
Yep. But
and then Sally redid Billy's home, which is really Nick's old home, actually.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm wondering, you know what? Remember we were saying how outside of this whole thing with Sharon, right? Because Sharon has been the catalyst of this entire storyline going all the way back to May or June of last year. And they just kept adding new elements to it. At first, it was wrapped around the story with Faith and Lucy. And then they threw Heather in this mix. And then they threw Jordan and Ian in this. And now Mariah is a target. And it's been a lot of spoilers that they decide not to do. Like, there was this whole thing that's been floating out there that both Sharon and Phyllis was supposed to be tied into this somehow, but they never, I guess, decided to go ahead with it. So I don't know. After this ends, now what? Because they've been tiptoeing around the Damien thing. I think we only seen him twice this month, right?
Yep.
And so once they, obviously, Jordan is done, at least so we think. And Ian is next, because obviously there's some spoiler pics that came out last month where Ray Wise were posing with like Eric Braeden and all them, and he had a bullet hole in his stomach or whatever. So I'm assuming he's about to be shot. So with that coming to an end, do we have anything else on the horizon?
As far as what?
Storylines.
Oh, storylines. Well, I guess the Damien thing will still be a pretty relevant story, especially like didn't it come out that he may own a business or something like that? So they still got to deal with that. Then remember, some of us are speculating that this whole thing with his mom is a scam anyway. So if that is true, that can be a big story. Like if she's faking the cancer and all of this was some big play for them to maybe take Hamilton Winters away from them, that would be a big storyline. So yeah, I guess there's still things to come. And you know the Nomans are always going to find something to get involved with. So I think there'll be things to come ahead.
What about you, Bree? What do you think after this whole thing has been monopolizing the show?
In all honesty, I was really disappointed with how this particular storyline ended, and it looped so many people in. So, like, where it's their own soul storyline. So once, I guess they do whatever they're going to do with Ian, it's like it's blank canvas again. There's like juice, no spice, like that's it.
Yeah, like Jenna said, they haven't laid any groundwork for a new storyline. And I mean, I get where Jay is coming from with the Damien thing, but they have been breadcrumbing that storyline so far few in between that it's nothing to like bridge from one to the other. It's like, okay, now we got to start from scratch. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's just one storyline. It affects one family. And there's like nothing going on as far as the Abbotts, nothing going as far as the Newmans, I guess now. It really kind of solely depends on like how that Ian storyline and if Jordan is really gone. But I know we'll get to that, but I just don't see it. And plus, February sweeps is coming up, so next week.
Yeah, next week.
Well, that's something I wanted to throw in too. Something that we've all talked about is the fact that there hasn't been a lot of romance going on with all of these dramas. You had the Connor situation. That was a lot of dread to that. Sharon situation had a lot of dread to it. And we talked about how, a lot of what soaps is supposed to be romances, affairs. But look at the timing of what this whole Jordan Ian thing is ending. It's ending right as we get into February. So maybe that month will be some of these relationships starting to kick in. Maybe Sharon and Nick are going to kick things up again after what they've been through. Maybe we'll see Phyllis get involved in the story. I know Bree is a big proponent of Daniel and Tessa hooking up with the moves Tessa's made, and we'll talk about that. Maybe her and Mariah might be in a little bit of trouble. So maybe this upcoming month will have a lot of romance to it.
Okay. Well, I mean, according to what we do know is that look like Tessa and Aria will be missing next week before we see Ian head over to Newman Ranch. So, I mean, is that enough to scare Mariah into falling back into a connection with her? Because now Tessa might believe, oh my God, I'm sorry, I believe you now, and this has happened. Of course, Mariah's going to be afraid. I don't know. They spend so much time on this whole storyline wrapped around Sharon. It's like, yeah, and then maybe we might get some romance. There's also some teaser about the fact that Kyle is going to want Claire to come clean about something. So maybe he finds out about how dark she went to pull this off, because they have an issue with that. Victor look like he's going to have an issue with the ladies because of what they decide to do, but I don't think that's going to make for a new substantial storyline, though.
No, that's like an episode. One episode.
Exactly. So, anywho, I was just wondering what y'all thought, because that's what I thought. I'm like, dang, this is coming to an end. What we doing next?
And I'm thinking the thing with Tessa might end quickly. Like, she's probably gonna get found fairly quickly, I would think. If Ian's about to wrap up, but it could still be ramifications in their relationship, because Mariah was really upset with her even entertaining that they listen to Ian and hear him out. So that may be the thing that causes the rift in their relationship. Mariah trying to get over that.
Yeah, I think that because when I saw that on, was that Wednesday or Thursday, when Tessa was telling her pretty much to get over it and forgive this man. I'm like, she done already told you what this man did to her. She was stolen and then raised to be his wife. And you think, and outside of that, all of the, dirty deeds that he did to the rest of the Newmans and all of that type of stuff. And Tessa's like, get over it and forgive him. I'm like, yeah, that's a problem.
And her eyes, the way she was looking at Ian, like you could see the sway that he had as a court leader. How they have that gift of gab and they're able to woo people in. He was staring at that man with like hopeful eyes, and like she was really believing everything he was selling her. So she was very vulnerable to him. And I think that's gonna come up. Like, I don't know why. Like, she brought up the fact that they've hurt people in the past. So I think she kind of has like this redemption kick to her or something, and she wants to give people a chance because people gave her a chance. But she looked at way too like hopeful when she was talking to Ian. So I'm wondering if that's going to come into play in their relationship.
Hey, Keish.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Hey, girl.
Okay. How's it going?
Thank you. I didn't even finish YNR because I'm half paying attention and packing at the same time. So I was like, I may as well just pause it and jump on the call.
You didn't miss much. I mean, for me personally, the YNR week was kind of boring. I think I agree with Jenna when she said it. But we were talking about the Tessa and Mariah thing. Tessa lost her mind.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't lose. too gullible. And the way that Ian just
because of the
walks
Ian
in,
stuff.
yeah, he just walks in and she's like, "Well, Abby said that you cannot be here. Don't make me have to call the police." Girl, call the police. This is absolutely stupid on her part.
Yeah, I mean, especially when she got a directive from her boss that he's not allowed on the premises.
Yeah, she was being a little flighty.
Yeah, and like, I really shouldn't be speaking to you like this. Like, the way you treated my family and my wife, like, how dare you do so? Why are you having a whole conversation with this man?
She was really hearing him out when I don't know why.
Which is she got exactly what she's gonna get from Ian. just dumb. Call the police. I will never understand this. Call the police.
Yeah, that was crazy to me, because I would think after everything your wife have told you about this man and what he did to other people in Genoa City, the Newman family and all of this, and you're like, well, just get over it. I mean, forgive him. We've done bad things too. And it's like, yeah, no, you don't want to have to deal with Ian.
Yeah, and I'm like, y'all, everybody has crimes in that city, without question. Mm-hmm. But your wife is terrified of this man. She's been laid everything out as to what he did to her family, and you're entertaining this man for what?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, what else happened this week? So, Sharon in the sewer.
Sound like a book.
Sharon in the sewer.
Sharon in the sewer.
Well, first of all, I mean, what's today, the 24th? Now, I'm assuming this is not a week's time. She was in there since New Year's. And she finally last week got a crowbar to break the chain, only to fall out and stay down in the sewer. And I'm like, why did they write this like this? And then she got up enough energy, because Nick told her so, to walk herself out of there. I don't know. That was just weird to me. But go ahead.
She was able to free herself, only to pass out on the ground, and it took a whole episode for Nick to tell her, you can walk, you can get up, you can do it. I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm like, you're not chained, you're free. You're free. And then Mariah, of all people's, the one who finds her.
Just randomly sitting on a park bench.
Right.
I'm like, where was Sharon at this whole time? Where was the sewer at? For her to just easily just walk. So she was able to just walk around. Nobody passed by this woman and saw that she had a whole chain attached to her ankle. But Mariah miraculously was able to see her.
It was very anticlimactic.
It sure was. And then they rewrote that whole thing, because there have been an ongoing spoiler since December about the fact that Phyllis was supposed to be down in there with her.
That's right.
Yeah. And that
did they even do anything to Phyllis?
No. They were supposed to set her up for Sharon's situation, but then they turned around and wrote Phyllis saying that I'm giving up my vendetta, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. And we haven't seen Phyllis. Except for Billy.
Exactly.
Well, and didn't they derive from that plan just because Jordan had decided, because she was supposed to off Sharon, right? But then she decided to keep her alive. So I thought when she derived from the plan, the whole Phyllis thing was going to be out of the question anyway, because she kind of went a different way than what Ian wanted her to do in the first place.
Yeah, well, and I agree with that, Jay. The problem is that the way that even the 2025 spoilers were saying for the upcoming winter, storylines, was that both Phyllis and Sharon was supposed to be in a situation that was going to change their relationship. Now, I mean, that could happen after. Who knows? But by the way, I need to read the super chat. Thank you, Mari. She said, "Happy Friday. Do you guys think Ian is Mariah's dad?" No, I don't think so.
I would hope
No,
not.
her and Cassie are twins, so whoever Cassie's father would be Mariah's father too.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're identical twins, so they would share the same father. Not if they were fraternal, then maybe, but they're identical.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. All right. But yeah, going back to that whole thing with it's just I honestly think they got lost and went down a rabbit hole and they just kept changing things with this storyline. What'd you say?
That's the way this story has felt from the beginning.
Yep. Absolutely. And then all of a sudden we
I
were
just felt like they were doing random stuff every week.
Yeah,
A
we
new
were
person
supposed
added.
to believe that Sharon's stuff, that I guess Jordan and Ian was tainting her meds way back in May and June.
Mm-hmm.
Because she started having issues with the medication then.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why she started going off on Lucy and all of them. And I don't know. I'm just glad that this is coming to an end. I just hope they have something interesting to follow up with.
Yeah. Bridget Jackson said Sharon in the sewer, Steffy in a cage. They both need to spin in the wash cycle.
They was all, and it was so interesting because I was reading a lot of the comments across social media, and people was like, "Oh my gosh, she must smell so bad," and she having, there's no toilets because we were saying the same thing about Jordan being in that cage, right?
Let's not forget Sheila.
And Sheila, all of them, and it's like y'all all hugged up. She came in and sat on that couch for a while, and I'm like, what you say?
To not have any character that reunited with all of these people that had been kidnapped or locked up for a week or longer, to not have anybody react with at least a slight stink face or that's not realistic.
It's just not.
I don't even care about that. It was the fact that she went home and sat on that couch.
Right.
After she had been sitting on the ground in the sewer for...
Well, no. Give credit where credit is due. She talked about taking that nice hot shower before she sat down on the couch. So she did acknowledge that she took a shower.
But Jay, she sat down first. And they were hugged up.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Mariah and Faith were just all like on each side of her, just like cuddled up next to her. I'm like, y'all don't smell the aroma, that stench that walked into the house.
I will say this: when Mariah was hugging her on that bench, that actress did look like she was tilting her head back a little bit. So maybe that's why she was posed like that when she was holding her. If you watch that again, she was making her neck go back a little bit, like damn. So maybe she was slightly acknowledging it.
Yeah.
But look at that picture right there. She's like, "What is that?"
Man, you smell horrible.
Here's the other part about someone. I think that was Keish that said it was anticlimactic. I mean, if you were in the sewer, she would have had to climb out the sewer. There's no entryway where you could just walk straight out. Am I correct?
Yeah, she walked out of there like it was a hallway.
Exactly. I thought
her fight somebody. Like we needed a fight scene with her and Jordan or something before she just walks out of the sewer.
Yeah, I was expecting that. And I'm like, what was the purpose of keeping her that long? Like, I have so many complaints with this whole ending, Jordan's ending, all of this. I'm like, they did this for how many months just for this ending?
Mm-hmm.
Jordan's ending. I was giggling the whole time. I just knew, I for whatever reason, thought Claire was going to say, I didn't even poison it. You're being dramatic, or you're overreacting, or you're faking, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was cracking up.
See, he said it was anticlimactic, and she's right. What they should have done, or something that I'm thinking that I would have done, I would have had Phyllis be the one to find her instead of Mariah.
Yes.
That could have been interesting, and then you could have done some different things with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Phyllis bring Sharon home to her kids and to Nick. That would have been better. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Gail Lewis said Nick and Chan should have rescued Sharon. Sharon should have gone to the hospital. That's the other thing. And because she almost died of hypothermia. This storyline made no sense, is what she said. And honestly, in Wisconsin, especially being that we've been in the negatives, she should have been an ice cube.
She had no coat, nothing, no sweater.
She hadn't eaten.
No gloves, nothing.
Right.
And there was no snow. They would have at least faked some snow, right?
Wisconsin, they should have.
The ground was white. That was snow on the ground, right?
I don't remember. I just think they botched this whole thing up. This was a hot mess.
Oh, I see a little snow. I look at the picture with Jordan and what's that girl's name?
Claire
at the top left. Like I see a little bit of snow. So
there's a little frost up there. And even in the one with Mariah finding Sharon, look behind Mariah. You can see a little bit of that frost on that green.
Let me ask y'all, what do y'all think about how Claire gaslit Jordan to get her to come there?
She learned from the best.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan gaslit her for what, 30 years?
Mm-hmm.
This was so disappointing. Like Jordan couldn't see right through that. You taught this girl and you couldn't see the fact that she was playing you this entire time. You just walk right into. First of all, you're contacting her just ever so freely, trying to tell her your plan and everything. Just another gullible person on the show. This didn't make any sense. And for anyone who said that Jordan and Sheila are one and the same, they're not. Clearly, they're not. No way.
I think Jordan may have had some suspicions, but she just wanted to see how far Claire was going to go with it. I think it was more of that. I think she just wanted to see how far Claire was willing to go.
I think Jordan's wait, can you guys hear me? Yeah, I think Jordan's mistake was going out to the ranch because she did seem suspicious, but I'm not gonna go out there on Newman turf if I'm suspicious about being played. She should have had Claire meet her somewhere neutral.
Yep, she gave him home court advantage with that, just showing up at the ranch.
It's gullible.
Yeah, I think she let her emotions cloud her judgment, because if her emotions wasn't in the way, she probably could sniff her out. But that was her main goal to come back to Genoa City with Ian, was to come for Claire. And Claire knew that, and she used it against her. That I've been faking all this time. I got this master plan. I learned it from the best. It's me and you. I can kill my mother, take the inheritance, and we can be out.
Yeah.
And so she used that against her, because that's why Jordan was back in Genoa City in the first place. For her.
Is anyone else thinking Jordan really isn't gone, though?
Somebody in the comments said that to make sure that she's gone, she needs to be cremated.
The faces Claire was making when she was drinking that coffee or that tea or whatever that's supposed to have the poison in it, it was just something about her facial reactions to me that I'm wondering if she really even did put poison in it.
So you think her and Claire,
I don't think Claire wants to work with her, but I think she's probably still fighting feelings that she had for that woman because she still raised her. So I'm thinking she really didn't offer, and Jordan's just acting right now. I don't know if they'll go back and say it was more like a sleeping pill or drug that she put in there and not actually poison. And I don't think she's really gone. I don't want to officially say that, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's not really unalived.
But Jay, they said Claire did say that she put sleeping medication in her tea just to speed up the effects. Like, if she put a whole lot of it in there to speed up the effects.
Now, you say did she say she put sleeping stuff mixed with poison or just sleeping stuff?
This sleeping medication.
Okay, because they was calling it poison.
Because she said I poisoned her tea.
Yeah, because Jordan was saying, she poisoned the tea, and then that would be the whole reason. That's why they made it a big dramatic thing that she ran to the table and drank it. Her running to the table and drinking sleeping pills. That ain't really
spiking the tea.
Yeah. What was the big dramatic effect for it? They put the sheet over her, and all she did, she just took a nap. Like, what they put the sheet over her for? Like she was gone. If all she did was take a bunch of sleeping pills.
Sherry Winter and Jenna said it was sleeping pills. So because Jordan assumed it was poison, but Claire clarified and said to speed up the effect, she put a bunch of sleeping medication in it, so it would unalive her quicker.
So there's poison plus sleeping pills, not just sleeping pills.
It's an overdose of sleeping pills.
Overdoses of sleeping pills, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, well then we just gonna find out that this woman is like Michael Myers or Teflon, and she ain't off.
Teflon.
She gonna wake up. She just taking a long nap, like Sleeping Beauty or something. She probably not even gone.
Jay, we already have a Michael Myers at daytime. That is Sheila. If anything, Jordan is Jason.
Stupid. All I know is the fact that we're about to end this storyline, and if they really truly want to make sure that they are gone, that she's gone, like somebody said in the chat, she needs to be cremated, and they need to stand there and watch it, kind of like how Deacon was watching Sugar.
The 10 toes moment?
Right.
10 toes.
And Mira, Aldo, we hope all is well with you as well. And she actually agrees with Jay. She don't think Jordan was drugged either.
I don't know.
And plus, we don't even know what they did with the body.
Oh, Jenna said that Colleen Zink came out and said goodbye to the fans, that Jordan is gone.
Well, that would be the thing to do just to keep up continuity, right? Because for a while we thought Sheila was really gone, and then
Well, Bold and Y&R is different. Usually, when they get rid of the Y&R characters, they get rid of the Y&R characters.
Yeah, you're right. Because we ain't seen Ashlyn come back, and we ain't seen that Phyllis off in the hotel.
Heather and
Mm-hmm.
And not Ashlyn. What's that guy?
Jeremy Stark.
Kirsten.
Now, if you were Newman, you get to come back because we didn't see Adam and Victor come back from the unalive.
Right.
Plenty of times.
Yeah, but like with Cameron, Kirsten, and even with Heather, they came back as figments of the imagination. They are gone.
Mm-hmm.
But Colleen Zink has said goodbye twice before. I'm just going to leave it right there. Until I see a body. And until they at least disclose, because I was trying to watch Monday's episode to see what they would say. And unless they disclose what they did with Jordan, I think this woman's still alive. And I think that she's just acting.
Well, I guess it depends on the writers and whether or not they're going to rewrite her coming back. Because the last few times she didn't die. She just went off to jail.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, yeah.
Maybe he put her in another dungeon.
Oh, I hope.
No, I'm so glad you brought that up, Bree. I was going to say, why didn't she, because I was hoping she would have brought that up in the conversation with the family. I wonder why she did it, because Nikki still doesn't know that Victor had that woman in the dungeon, does she?
I think she alluded to it
for she did. Second. And then he was like, what are you talking about?
See, I wanted her to come out and say it. Since it was like looking like the end, I would have told them all right there. Well, let me tell you what he did. Like, she should have just came out flatly and told them that she had been in there before.
It wouldn't even matter because they already filled up that prison cell.
True, and at this point, Nikki, her granddaughter, was splattered to off her. So at least he was just holding her hostage. Like, how can they get mad at him? He didn't even offer. He was just keeping her locked up. Mm-hmm. So they really can't get mad with the plan that they had, to be honest.
Oh, they did, Jenna? Okay. They said they took her body to a morgue. Well, we've seen Sheila apparently go to a morgue until I don't know.
Wait, when did you see Sheila go to the morgue?
I was about to say she must have saw Monday's episode because all I saw them was put a sheet over her face on the couch. I didn't see no morgue.
What?
That's what Jenna said that she went to a morgue. But when we thought that it was Sugar instead of Sheila or vice versa, like we assumed that. But once again, until I see the body, until they say that she's officially gone, I can't believe that. Everyone just pops up out of nowhere now. And it's like they love bringing certain characters back. And Jordan was a really good character. This was just a poor ending and poor exit to that character, in my opinion.
CJS said Nikki is a coward. She had no problem of letting her granddaughter off. I'm not going to say that word, off of Jordan. She sure was with it. She's been in a few plots where they had to off something. Nikki always involved in those kind of plots, though, it seemed like.
She don't get her hands dirty, though.
JT, there's probably more.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't never the one doing the dirty work.
Never getting her hands dirty.
I know one thing with Claire's plan, it kind of freaked out her mama. Like, wait a minute.
You dark.
This is my daughter. I mean, I know she was brainwashed, but she seemed kind of cold and calculating.
She was, though. The way she was just so nonchalantly talking about taking Jordan out. When I was watching it, I was like, wow, like Jordan really did a number on her, because she was talking about unaliving Jordan like they were playing a shopping trip.
Yep, she flipped the switch, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Straight cold-blooded to that, and that was plan A. There was no other plan, no alternatives. That was just a straight-up plan from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I gotta give it to her. Haley Aaron switched from little innocent childlike behavior to a cold-hearted killer.
That girl went from Little House on the Prairie to a Little Scary House.
What'd you say,
I loved her
Keish?
scenes with Jordan.
Yeah, I think that's why I was saying Haley Aaron did an excellent job by flipping that whole script per se. I agree with that. I know.
Well said.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, that's well said, V. Carter. Claire equals Victor. Cold, calculating DNA. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I'm wondering if when Summer finds out about this, because there's this whole thing that she's supposed to, try to figure out a way to interfere with that whole situation. And if Summer hears about what is happening, then go run tell Kyle, like, look, that girl right there, she was willing to take a life. Are you sure you want to be with somebody like that?
I don't want that darkness around my son.
Right.
What they she gonna say?
That spoiler was wrong the same way the spoiler about Phyllis and Sharon bonding was wrong.
You think so?
That's what I'm hoping.
Well, I do know, sure, like I was saying earlier, there's a spoiler coming out next week where Kyle is going to want her to come clean about something. I think it's next Thursday or Friday. So,
Summer or Claire?
Claire. Kyle gonna want Claire to come clean about something.
The way these spoilers have been written, it probably is gonna be Summer that he say that too. And then when we watch it, we're gonna be like, wait, wasn't he supposed to be saying this to Claire?
Yeah. I don't think anybody's gonna be mad at her about Jordan though.
Spoilers be lying sometimes.
Let me see, where is it?
Especially considering it wasn't like she secretly did this. Like Nikki and Victoria all knew what she was planning to do. So I could see if maybe it was something she kind of planned behind their back and executed, and they weren't aware that she poisoned her tea. But since it was all out in the open, I can imagine Kyle freaking out about it if this is what he's questioning her about.
Yeah, it's next Friday's episode. Kyle is on a mission to push Claire into coming clean.
You know what I would love? Everything that Claire told Jordan, I actually wonder if she was confessing what she's actually planning to do. Where she's playing her role and being a legal Newman, playing the long game, only to eventually off her mother and get a sizable inheritance. I honestly feel the way that she shared that with Jordan came with ease, and she didn't have to struggle to come up with a story. It almost sounded like that was her plan all along. And what if it turns out that she's very much like her Aunt Jordan, that she can't really shake off everything that was embedded in her because of Jordan? And
it's possible, Bree. I mean, if they decide to take her dark and make it look like, yeah, I've been planning this all along, it's possible.
like, that would be awesome. That would actually give Claire even more edge, in my opinion.
Yeah,
the fact that she is
go ahead.
playing her role and then getting the inheritance from Victoria and then getting embedded with the Abbott family, that would be very interesting to see.
I don't think they'll make her that. I don't think they'll make her calculating like that. But I think what this shows is if she gets hurt enough, she can slink back into going back into that mode. So like when Kyle eventually does break her heart and get back with Summer, that may make her snap and go back to this kind of version of herself or something like that. I think it just shows the potential she has to go back to that. But I don't think she's like actively seeking any like plans of like doing anything to the Newmans, and she planned on hooking up with Kyle to get into the Abbotts. I don't think they're gonna do anything like that. But I would like to bring something up. There was a scene at the little farmhouse or whatever that is, where they were talking, and then Victoria went up to Jordan, and she was like, "Oh, I wish I could get you alone," or something she said. And then I got to give it to is the actress named Colleen Zink?
Yes.
I think. Is that her name? I got to give it to her because she went right back at her. She said, "Oh, are you sure that's what you want? Because that might happen." And you could see Victoria shrieking when she said that. So don't act tough. Don't try to change who you are and be that person, because even in that situation when she was surrounded by Newmans, she had that girl scared for her life. Like, when she told her that, she thought twice about that. Like, you really want to be alone with me? Because we can make that happen. And that girl cowered so quick. I had to laugh at that. That was good acting by both of them.
Jay, I agree I remember that. And I'm looking at Victoria and I'm saying, like, girl, please, if you don't go sit down somewhere.
Exactly.
Like, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do? Exactly.
She was a bigger bad because her family was like, "Oh, I wish I could get you alone." She's like, "You sure about that?" And she was like, "Maybe not."
What did y'all think of Nicholas' reaction when Sharon told him that those figments of her imagination is what helped her get out of there? He was looking at her like, "Oh, okay."
He was like, "Ooh, you is crazy." The PCP is one hell of a drug. You is kind of crazy. You saw all of that? Damn.
What did y'all think about it, Bree and Keish?
I don't think I saw that part.
Oh, okay.
I did, and I'm like, okay. I would have. Nick looked like okay, and
exactly.
Like he was like, "I'm about to hit on Phyllis. You too crazy." I
can't. Still no reaction of like possibly him wanting to get back with Sharon.
Nope.
After all of this,
I didn't see anything. He was looking at her like it wasn't that much of a reaction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I still think they're gonna do that, Kish. Like, I think that was meant to kind of like establish, like she kept telling you like my guardian angel. I think they'll probably still do something with it, but in that moment, his reaction was like, oof. Like, he looked like, goddamn. Like, it was funny seeing how he reacted to hearing that.
I don't know, man. It's because I feel like they've teased this multiple times in the last couple of years of reuniting them. Like when she broke up with Chance, that whole daydream, that whole standalone episode was basically about her and Nick. Yeah. And then nothing happened. There was nothing that came of it. So it's like, why do they keep teasing this and just not putting them back together?
he doesn't even think of her that way. He just likes to rescue people.
Mm-hmm.
Any moment he can put his cape on, he's there. And he knows that Sharon is the damsel in distress on this show. And he always has his cape pressed and ready to go, just like Liam does on the other show.
Yeah.
But
well, Bree, doesn't that make her more attractive to them? Because if he's with Sharon, she always going to be in some kind of trouble where that cape's going to be needed. So if he has the hero complex, who better to be with than somebody that constantly needs saving?
then he would have had a reaction to her saying, like, "Oh, I was thinking of you."
And sorry, Bree.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, why did they keep having Sharon show obvious signs of her still, I guess, being in love with Nick, or maybe wanting to try with Nick again?
Yeah.
It's always her, but Nick has literally no reaction to her in that way.
Right.
And he hasn't had that reaction to her in that way in years.
Right. And he's had a little bit more flirtation with Phyllis than he has with Sharon as of late. Mm-hmm. Like, he has no problem saving Sharon, but when it comes, he knows when he wants to get some, he can go to Phyllis.
I think it's gonna be the same typical way. Maybe Faye for the kids talk to him and say, if it's something there, why don't you guys? It'll be something silly like that, where like he's gonna have a moment where he's contemplating and thinking about it, and then he's gonna pursue it, and then they'll probably break them up again. But I think we are gonna get them together again at some point.
Yeah,
I'll believe it when I see it.
So because I know we kind of touched on this a little bit, but with the whole thing with Sally doing that house situation for Billy, was there is she planning on moving in with him or something, or she was just doing him a design job?
She was redesigning the house for him. They had talked about it like the week before. Yeah.
Okay. Because to me it seemed kind of random, because when I saw the spoiler, I didn't know what that surprise was. Did they talk about that last week, that she was going to do his house?
Yeah, I believe they did. They did mention her redecorating for him. And because you remember, even in today's conversation, he says, I thought he was just going to like maybe put a few paintings up or, a few pieces of furniture, but she like did the whole, apartment, the whole shebang. So they had talked about it before.
Oh, man, I must have missed that episode because I don't remember.
Yeah. I like the set though.
It's Nick's old set from his old house.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like the way it's designed.
So why are they giving this man a house then? I mean, because now he let go of the Newman vendetta, or the Chancellor vendetta. So where we going with Billy now?
I guess Sally moves in, or maybe Phyllis. I don't know.
Girl, I don't.
It looks like they're going to do something more.
Yeah, I'm not even feeling this whole Billy Sally thing anyway. It's just like blah to me.
I keep forgetting they're together, y'all. It's only when they bring up like, oh, okay, they're dating. All right, that's something. That's just how I feel. Like, he has more excitement, more chemistry, more heat with Phyllis. And I don't know, maybe I want to see that interaction more, or maybe I just want Phyllis to have a man finally on the show, because it's been a few years. But as far as what they're going to do with Billy and this new set, looks like they're moving forward with, I guess, he and Sally, because eventually she'll move in. But that's
where
as far
is she
as
staying right now?
The GCAC.
So what happened to Adam's old place?
I don't even remember.
Adam's still there.
That's not.
What?
She had to get up out of there.
Which set is Adam's? I don't remember.
Where he got that condo he got from Lily before she moved in over.
That's what that set looked like to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me too.
It looked like Nick's old mansion, because it's it had I don't know, but I'll show you guys pictures of Nick's old house. You'll see what I'm talking about. Just the wide layout. I can even imagine the bar on the right side and everything. Mm-hmm. But Adam's still in his apartment. He hasn't moved onto the ranch yet.
Yeah, that's another. They put so many other storylines on the back burner, which that's another couple I'm really not interested in. Is Sally? I mean, it's Chelsea and Adam. It's like, why are we doing that again?
I'm actually a fan of that, but I think I'm the only one in here that is.
Y'all want to see
Chelsea
them
and
again?
Adam?
Yeah, Chelsea and Adam.
I don't care about either one of them being together. Honestly, I just don't.
What about you, Brie?
I don't care if they are, and I don't care if they break up.
Yeah, it's just not interesting to me. I mean, the romance is just flat on this show right now.
Yeah, I can't even think of like who's in a relationship now. Like I keep forgetting Shaggy and Victoria are together. We know that Claire and Johnny Bravo are together. There's nothing really going on. I mean, I guess Audra and Nate.
They had a scene last week, right?
Yeah, and on Monday as well. And they had a really nice little love scene. That's probably the only couple I'm surprised to say I'm rooting for.
Was that Tuesday?
Monday or Tuesday.
Well, Monday nothing came on because of the inauguration.
I think that was Tuesday's episode then when they came back from LA and they got it in and he was talking about her funky feet and they got it in. That was a cute little moment and I'm rooting for those two.
You are?
You are?
So, I know, I'm growing, y'all. Only because
you hated Audra.
I didn't hate her. I just wanted her with somebody else.
I wouldn't mind seeing Daphne with Nate.
You called that woman a 304 every chance you got, Bree.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Bree called her, was it mattress or somebody?
I called her a Tempur-Pedic. That's how she was moving. That's exactly how she was moving. She was mattress sitting. She flipped that mattress back and forth between Kyle and Tucker McCall. That's exactly what she did.
Oh my goodness.
But she got a new leaf. And I just like the character development because I felt that was what was missing with the Audra character, and it's refreshing to see the more and more I see her with Nate, and that's why I'm kind of hoping for with Lee when we talk about Bold. But with this Audra character, I like the fact that she is showing other sides to her. There's other layers. I wish there was more of a backstory with her, and I'm hoping we're going to see that in the future. But as of right now. Yeah, I'm rooting for them a little bit.
Nah, I guess. I mean, maybe if they put a little spice on it again, we're counting down to beyond the gates. Maybe we get some heat over there. But Young and the Restless ain't hitting on nothing. Even with the scenes that they tried to give us, it's just not like it used to be.
Yeah, it's just dull. 2024 just has some really short, dull love scenes, or we'll just hear them talk about it the following day. Like, oh, you did this and this to me, and they're having breakfast. I'm like, we wish we could have saw that.
Right.
See, how far would you go back with that statement? You said it's not like it used to be. Like, how far?
2019.
Ooh.
I would say 2023 because we had that scene with Abby and Devon, and then there was like several other scenes. We had Sharon and Chance. We had.
Girl, I had to do my editing to make that look good.
Yes, but we still got it.
Wait, to make what look good?
The whole thing with Sharon and Chance in the back room.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Even then. I mean, you did better than them, but even then.
It was better than 2024.
Well, I mean, seriously, the last craziest scenes, I did a whole bunch of videos on my Instagram where we had all those scenes with like Nick and Phyllis's sister, and it was papers flying everywhere because they were all over the floor.
And
Or
Abby messing with Summer's husband, who was Matt, playing Matt, played by Matt at the time.
we had
Yeah.
Stitch and Ashley in the shower,
Mhm.
and Adam had Sharon up against the wall and slammed her on the mattress. And me and Keish would talk about that for the last 6 years.
That's why Keith chuckled because I don't get yep. You bring that one up quite a bit. Adam against the wall. You really
Right.
missed that one.
So it looked like after the COVID year, everything with the romance department, and I know I could understand the COVID year because we had a little bit of a break before they came back. But man, I mean, we were spoiled by Thope in 23, but that was about it in the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah. So
But you said you wanted Daphne with Nate?
why not? Nate don't mind doing it. What's you laughing? What's so funny about that, Bree?
I cannot see that. I would rather Steffy with Nate.
Steffi
Yeah,
with Nate?
that would be hot.
I guess I don't know. Somebody was trying
Well,
to put
Steffi
Steffi
about
with
to be-
Carter.
Yeah. I mean, well, the
That
two
was
actors.
me. I had always wanted them to
I
try
did too.
Steffi and Carter.
Yeah, I wanted that for a long time too. The two actors wanted it, and Steffi about to be free coming up soon. So we may, I'm about to
Man,
something
they gonna
like
put
today.
that girl. I can't. They probably gonna put that girl right back there with Little Puke.
We'll talk about it more on Bold, but I brought up. I don't know if you heard my voice message earlier, T, but I brought up a whole scenario where they could potentially go ahead and pursue that.
Who? Steffi and Carter?
Steffi and Carter. Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Why
No.
would you want to sleep with the man that took your company?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, she
Well,
wanted
my
to
whole
sleep with Bill.
Well, my whole idea was do you want me to wait till we get to Bold to bring it up?
Okay, are we done? Do we got anything else for Young and the Restless?
Trying to think. The only thing else I was mad at was the fact that they just like passively said like, "Oh yeah, Ian unalived Heather."
They didn't even care about that girl.
Well,
She
okay,
was-
let's visit that because somebody lying. That
Yep.
means that Sharon, Heather, Ian, and Jordan was in that room because remember, her hypnosis flashback was a hand on her shoulder, which was Jordan. So Ian was in there too at the same time. Because they're trying to put the blame on. They're trying to put the blame. Well, at least Jordan is trying to put the blame on Ian.
That could work if Jordan put her hand on her shoulder to turn her around or to distract her while Ian off Heather. Or maybe, she was probably knocking her out while he was doing that. So she probably put her hand on her shoulder first.
You went from 2 to 4 people. So remember, if we go back to that scene where Sharon was sneaking around up in there trying to put stuff in the alcohol and do all this other stuff, and Heather came in, where supposedly was Ian and Jordan? They just happened to walk in there. Were they upstairs? That's why that goes back to the whole thing. They just threw this whole thing together.
Well, the door was probably unlocked, right? But I don't know if they're going to show any flashbacks.
But the thing is, were they following supposedly Sharon going back to the house and all that type of stuff?
I would imagine so, because this was their plan all along, right? If going all the way back to even lacing her drugs when she first, because remember we talked about it when she first got that new doctor and she got the new medication, and we were saying it's weird that they didn't even show the new doctor, and there's a reason why, because they was messing around with her pills from the very jump. So if they went back that far to even messing around with the new medications, that means, yeah, they probably was following her because this was their plan all along.
And then the other thing is they didn't bring up, like Gail said, about the octopus. They didn't bring up any. The octopus came up later after the fact too, and then we ain't heard no more about that bloody octopus.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me so angry. How was it Chance was able to take that lipstick from the hotel and immediately pin it to Jordan, but they couldn't get the DNA from off of that octopus to determine who it was?
Right. It's just poorly written. All right. Go ahead.
And that made me upset. And you got Nick trying to boss the cop around.
That pissed me off. And that is exactly why I didn't care whether or not Chance went back to law enforcement, because this is how they always treat main characters that are cops on soaps. Everybody else bosses them around, and they never ever are the ones to solve a crime.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the random citizen or the person's family member that is like trying to convince the cop that this is what is happening, and the cop is like, we got to do things by the book, or they're like skeptical or hesitant, and they're never the ones that solve the crime. So basically, like, Chance just looks like an idiot, like he can't do his job.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why that's why I didn't have a problem with him going to the business side of things.
Yeah, I thought the same thing you did, Keish, because I'm sitting up here like, man, I know, right? And I was saying that. I said, I bet you right now he wish he was back at Chancellor.
Mm-hmm.
Because
the police officers just need to be random, like, day players that don't have a permanent position. They only bring them in when they need there's a crime or a mystery or whatever going on. And they just don't need to be regular characters.
Yeah, they don't respect that man. The Newmans, whether it's the Summer or Abby or Nick or Victor, they don't respect him as an officer. He's supposed to be chief of police, ain't he?
I don't think he went back to that role when he went back.
Oh, okay.
But he's authority still, and you got Nick like just disrespecting him. They're at the hotel, and Chance is like, look, I want to follow protocol, I want to get a search warrant. I can't wait for that. I'm going to go knock on everybody's door and see if Sharon is in there.
He sure did say that.
Disrespectful.
I'm here.
And by the time he got the search warrant, it's like, I already knocked on the door. She ain't in there.
Right.
Why did they make Chance chief of police? He's the only cop in town. They don't even show the precinct. Like,
yeah, I bet you he like, dang, why did I ever go back to law enforcement?
Now, he can go in law enforcement. He's going to get a Genoa City.
Right.
That's the issue.
Do you think they let Lieutenant Baker do his job, don't they?
No. No, not really.
That man be eating glizzies.
They be in Lieutenant Baker's face, too, trying to tell him how to do his own job.
And he really just worried about his next hot dog. He's not even really worried about that.
That is a good point, Electro Soul Girl. She said, sad, technically Heather was a legacy character as she's Paul's daughter, and they also unallied his evil son. What was his son's name?
Ricky.
Yes.
I always see that was left in the open too, though, because he apparently was put through a window, or and then they never really showed anything after that. So I always thought Ricky first. Was he? Well,
I thought he was shot or stabbed first, and then he went through a window.
Even then, Ricky was a big dude, so he could have survived that. I always thought there was potential to bring him back, but then Paul ended up leaving the show. The actor who played Paul ended up leaving the show too. So.
And Paul suffered for no reason. He lost his daughter literally for no reason. They made this whole storyline centered and focused on Mariah and Claire. That's the only reason why they brought back Jordan.
They changed it, Bree, because back in October, November, they were tying Paul to this because of the history between Nikki and him against Ian. And then they turned around and took that out of play and then made these two the targets.
Yeah.
Which was lame.
The way it ended, yeah.
So that legacy character was offed. for a whole plot between two people who ended up not being together anymore. Like they kind of like went their own separate ways.
Well, I
Both of
will
them.
say though that Jordan did get some before she passed.
Yes, I was at least elated by that. She
Well, we
said,
got a legacy character off just so Jordan can get the spider webs, the cobwebs going.
I
That's messed
mean,
up.
you heard what she? Who did she tell that to? Was that the Newmans, or she told that to?
I think she was talking to herself. She's like, I open myself up to all these people. I open myself up to my lover, and like there's not enough amount of kisses
Oof.
or something. Like she said something to that in that hotel room,
Was
and then
she? Go ahead.
and then I think she spoke to Claire after that on the phone.
I mean, she was a little smitten by Ian. Ian must have put it down without breaking his back. So
I think
Girl, a lifeless man could have put it down on her, and she would have had to. She hadn't had none in 35 to 45 years.
a good 40 decades. I agree with Jay. Like anything would have worked.
That
I
girl
mean,
would
that was
not
like,
sprung off anything.
and it's not even just cobwebs. It was a cement block that he had to get through and make miracles work. So at least she got her some after 40 years. So good for her, I guess.
well, she can at least say, hey, I might, and then they let her go. They get her off the hook because I think, well, they had to give her some type of poisoning or whatever to make sure that she was gone. But I kind of would have liked the other ending, like one of you said, where I think that was Keish. Like, girl, ain't no poison in there. You being dramatic. And they take her off somewhere. So I'm looking forward to seeing because that's going to come out with Daniel next week. I think it's Thursday's episode, where he gets to find out the truth about what happened with Heather. And I want to see Phyllis's face too.
Yeah, and think about that. Think about Phyllis, Daniel, and Lucy's reactions when they found out they lost. He lost his girl, and the daughter lost her mother, all for that. Like for that horrible, stupid plot. Like I don't know how he gonna deal with that.
So,
Yeah.
All right, we cover everything.
Yeah. That's a good wig on Jordan. I meant to
Which
say
one,
that
the
earlier.
blonde or the short one?
The little
All
short
Jordan
one.
wigs.
Yeah, well, this one right here, you can see this brown one. You see it almost every beauty supply store you can think of. That's a cute little one. It's a little shake and go. Good for her.
I
That's
kind of
cute.
liked her in the blonde ones. It really gave her a little bit more of a sassy look. That wig she got on looked like it came from Temu. So
You think so? I don't think Jordan has had a bad wig yet.
I mean, it looked good. The one where she's laying down croaked at the bottom right, that looked cute on her. That you can find that wig in every beauty supply store known to man. That's a quick little $28 wig.
With
yeah,
that
I
short
see there. You
wig,
said $28. There you go.
It's $28.
with that short wig, she looks the most like she did when she was on As the World Turns. With that look, with the black and the short wig and that top right, that's she looks just like her character Barbara from As the World Turns, right there.
Barbara Ryan.
Yep. All right, let's move on because I know we got some stuff to talk about on Bold. How many people in the chat, Bree?
We got 150 in the chat ready to talk bold, and we got 57 likes. Can we get the likes up, you guys?
Pretty please. I appreciate you guys, and also, I know Bree wanted me to. Next time I'll have that ready for you, Bree. But we are on other platforms, Facebook group. We also have Instagram, TikTok, forever how long that's going to be because it's back, and then X, Threads, and there's a blog on Medium. And if you type in Soap Corner Talk, in any of those platforms, it should come right up for you. So you can also see content over there. And then again, make sure you are subscribed to this channel, as I do recaps daily, spoilers, and we go live every Friday night, 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 Eastern, and we have a lot of fun over here. All right, moving on. Bold and the Beautiful. We got a lot to talk about, and we're going to recap for the week of the 20th through the 24th. First, Liam grills Bill, and Lee accuses a mystified Jack of fathering Luna. Lee demands Jack to take a paternity test, and Liam hits a nerve. Steffy and Daphne put their plan into action, and Lee's moment of truth arrives. And Lee's paternity test reveals that Jack is not the father, which leaves her and Poppy in tears, and Daphne puts on the charm and signs Carter's contract. Where y'all want to go? You know what? So we got the Daphne thing this week. We got the paternity thing this week. And this whole bonding of talking about their parents between Luna and Bill. And then we got Little Puke back this week.
Not Little Puke.
Land of O'Lakes.
Let me clean that up. Welcome back, Scott Clifton. We haven't seen you in about 3.5 months.
You lost some weight.
You think so?
Yeah,
he's looking a little bit slender.
No, because there were rumors back in like October or something that he was under the weather or something. With COVID or something, I think. I don't know. I don't want to spread no rumors, but, those were, what was said, and he had been gone for a while. But
I feel like they said that not last year, but in 23 when he was gone for that long stretch. They were saying he had COVID too.
Well, hopefully he all right. I didn't even notice that he looked like he lost weight.
I didn't notice either.
You can tell, like, in his face and in the arms.
Yeah, look at the body and the arms.
Yeah, because if you saw it, like, if you can compare it to, like, how he was when he was, like, working out with RJ, he was really buffed up. It's like night and day. But maybe, hopefully he's feeling well and he's okay. But I just noticed that it was the first thing I saw when he first popped on the screen. It's okay. He slimmed down a little bit.
Yeah, like if you compare it to around that time where him and Steffi had the one night stand, he was like bigger then. He was like kind of more buffer then, and now he looks a little bit more like slender and toned.
No,
still a handsome man though.
I got a question, because obviously they made this focus right now around again, like I think Bree, you said in the group chat about the fact that a year ago for February sweeps it was focused around Luna, and here we go again. What do y'all think about this? Because we went a whole summer going through this whole thing. They got rid of Hollis, got rid of Tom, only for us to circle back now in February, and this girl is back to not knowing whether that man was her daddy or who her daddy is.
I feel like it's another kind of like with I guess maybe not comparable to the Sharon storyline, because I feel like they at least continuously kept that going for a few months in a row. But it's almost like they can't make up their mind what direction they want to go in, because having Luna unalive two men surrounding her paternity because they thought Tom was her dad. What was the point of that?
Right.
You made her into a murderer to then just go back and say, oh wait, that wasn't her father. So it's like, I don't understand why they just can't stick to one lane, and why we are still in this same cycle of I don't know who my father is. Almost a year and a half, a little over a year later. And it's gotten to the point where now it's just like I feel like they've lost momentum with even finding out who her father is. We just want to know so we can move on to a different story. That's literally been Luna's story for a year.
Yep.
Between that and the drama with RJ and Zende and her mom.
And it make her mom look like a whole 304. Because, I mean...
Girl, they got her mom looking like a horrible mom, a drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
Just, she looks terrible. Right? They even got Bill down in her.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if you just did that on purpose, but you worded that beautifully because it sounded like you were just about to flat out call her the H word.
No.
But then you said a whole 304. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, nigga, no, a whole 304.
I thought you were about to stop short on that first word. What was that?
Yeah, because, I mean, all these people are in question. Bill is in question. Tom is in question. Now, of course, Finn isn't. So you had to be with all these people around the same time period or the same block of time because of the fact of Luna's conception. And all of them thought they was because they all knew they slept with her around the same time. Tom, Bill, and now we saw that preview for next week. It looked like Finn know, hey, you need to tell me something?
And apparently she had a line long enough to wrap around the block.
And what makes it even more stupid is if that's the route that they're going, in Poppy's mind anyway, which, of course, this is soap, so it's not, people aren't going to think logically. Mm-hmm. But if that was the case, I'm off the bat telling my sister her dad died in a car accident.
Oh.
So there's never any question. Because why would you, it doesn't make any sense for her to keep carrying on with this. Well, I'm not sure. It could be this person. It could be this person. Having all these random tests done when you know that they're going to come out negative.
So you think what you're saying is that Poppy automatically knew these folks wasn't the daddy because she made it look like she wasn't sure.
That's the other thing is they did make it look like she wasn't sure. Mm-hmm. But then the way I feel like the way her and Lee's conversation was going, it was like you knew that Tom wasn't the father. Mm-hmm. You were just acting like he was for whatever reason. Because she tested Tom's liver. So they had to put some type of question behind it. And then she made it seem as if, and even Poppy kind of made it seem as if she knew that it wasn't Tom. And she's just going along with it.
I think they switched that up a little bit because we got that clip last year where we had a flashback where Tom was looking like a hippie and they were supposed to be back 20 years ago and you have a piece of me and I got a piece of you inside of me.
I hated that line so much. It was so gross. Go
ahead.
That's all they've done through this whole thing is switch it up because even if they make it Finn, how many scenes between them or even between him talking to Lee about Luna's paternity wouldn't make sense now. Like she literally went to Finn and asked him to be the male figure in Luna's life. Mm-hmm. That scene would not have made sense because, and if it's what people are wanting, which is, it seems like they want it for Finn to have consensually slept with her. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't have been confused in that moment and asked her like, do you not know who her father is? Or
hey Keith,
huh?
Are you struggling with this storyline?
I mean, it's annoying because I don't want it to be a situation where Finn was taken advantage of by his aunt.
Well, I don't even the way that it look. I think it don't look like that. It looks like he been keeping a secret that he realized that him and her did to do at least once.
Well, I think either way it goes, I think the storyline is gross.
Yeah, I know this even don't sit well with you. Yeah, right. I know it don't sit well
because for 2 years they've had him calling her Aunt Poppy. If she came onto the show and he was just referring to her as Poppy and they didn't talk about their aunt-nephew relationship, different story maybe. But But because they've had him call her Aunt Poppy for 2 years straight. It's just like gross if that's what they do.
What y'all think, Jay and Bree?
Go ahead, Bree.
To be honest, based off of the clip from next week, I think it was a process of elimination. I think Poppy, given how they're portraying her, that she was moving, that she was sleeping around with a bunch of different people, that she probably really didn't know. So she was probably genuinely surprised when she thought Bill was the father. And then it was and once that came out, that Luna tampered with it, then she just automatically assumed, okay, maybe Tom was right. Maybe he was the father, but they never got their reassurance. So for her, now that she knows, the look on her face when she was in Lee's office, she was like, uh-oh, like, oh, crap. Then it really is Finn. But I think between this woman's past of sleeping around with different men, the drugs, all of that, she knew that she was loose, but I think she also knew that it was a possibility that it could be Finn. And plus, they've given us enough at the beginning of last year that Finn could possibly be the father. But I think it boiled down to if they wanted to push that route.
Right.
They went ahead and did this sort of murder mystery thing and given us a little twist, and now they're trying to clean up Luna's character a little bit more so they can keep her on the show, which is understandable. But it's making Poppy look crazy, even though she did it to herself. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. This is so, to me, like, Bold has been been taboo for years. Brooke has slept through the Forrester family, even the Maronis. So, and she has a baby with Eric, with Ridge, and Nick. So it's not too far-fetched for a one woman to sleep with different people. And plus...
But she didn't sleep with someone that she called her uncle for years.
I mean, technically, Eric's technically her father-in-law. She looked at him as a husband, and she also called him a father figure at one point.
That's an in-law. To me, an in-law is different than somebody that you call your aunt or uncle, in my opinion.
But if it was blood, I can see that. But this is adoptive, and that's a blurred line that Bold likes to play with a lot. And we also, it just opens different can of worms in an interesting way, and it opens up more storylines for the different characters. Plus, they need something going into Feb sweeps, and there's still no contract. This is definitely a way to get people talking and get conversation started. Making Finn the father.
One or two things, Bree. Either it's because I'm seeing the word "gross" in the comment section. So it's going to either, bring attention or gross people out.
I mean...
I just want to see in 10 years, 12 years, when Douglas is of age, if they did a similar storyline with Hope and Douglas, how accepting people would be of that.
Hope and Douglas?
Because she adopted him, and they're not blood.
I don't know if I would.
So why I don't understand why Poppy and Finn are any different, especially considering
because she was
Lee
the
has had
actual
Finn
mother
since
figure.
he was an infant, literally since he was an infant, since he was a newborn. So, and
that's slightly different though, because Hope is the actual mother figure. And you know what I mean? With Poppy, she was I know.
That's the whole thing. The whole justification.
Was with that boy
everyone has had
his life. You know
the
what
whole
I mean?
Justification everyone has had behind the Poppy Finn thing is they're not blood related.
Yes.
Here's another example.
Mother, Brooke, Hope was there with that boy every single day of his life. It's a different dynamic.
No, she wasn't.
And
she wasn't involved
since the adoption.
She wasn't involved in Douglas until Douglas was 7 years old.
Since the adoption, I mean, like since she actually did become the adopted mother, she's been there in that boy's life every single day as his mother from there. So I get what you're saying with people justifying it by saying it's not blood, but that's still slightly different. You're talking about a mother-son complex there as opposed to an adoptive aunt situation.
She's probably been in Douglas's life as long, not even as long as Poppy has been in Finn's life. She's been in Douglas's life shorter than what Poppy has been in Finn's life.
Well, here's the thing. On this particular show, we've seen
echo.
Uh-oh. See, the bold's already trying to tap in and listen. Get more ideas from us.
Go ahead, Bree.
So, on this show, we have seen Ridge raise Bridget thinking that it was his own child. The baby was even named after both of Brooke and Ridge. And then years later, they find out they're not really brother and that's not even his daughter. And then they find out they're not really brother and sister. And then we see them having kissing scenes.
Yeah, and it was gross, and that lasted how long? And they didn't have any kids from it.
Exactly. So it's not going to break the show. It's just part of that taboo sort of storylines that Bold is known for since the 90s. They like to blur lines. So this is why it's not too far-fetched for him to be the father. Plus, he's not really related to anybody on the show except for Sheila, really. And then once it comes out that he has a daughter, it just opens up other different avenues, because now we get to find out that Luna's related to Sheila, so we know where she got it from. And then we would also have to see, like, would Finn shut out his own daughter for his wife? Would this break up Finn and Steffy and she goes back to Land of O'Lakes? Would this also
Land of O'Lakes?
Butters?
Yeah, I know.
Would this also cause a rift between Hope and Carter, because Hope was so gung-ho about trying to get with Finn, and that leaves an opening for her? It just opens a lot of different things and adds a lot of, spice and excitement. I mean, granted, it's icky, but this is what this show is known for 30-something years. This is not anything new for anybody.
Yeah. But
none of it has ever resulted in one of those hookups having a child, though. And it's always been, like, the Ridge Bridget thing was very short-lived. They didn't have there was nothing that resulted from it.
And here's another thing.
That's the difference. To me, that's the difference between that and between those two.
Well, I'll give you another one. Take Rick Forrester and Steffy. She lost her whole virginity to that man.
And she didn't grow up calling him Uncle Rick either.
Yes, she did. No, she was younger. Mm-hmm.
No, she didn't. They found out Rick was not Ridge's brother around the time that Steffy and Phoebe would have been like 3 or 4 years old.
Well, that's how the thing. Because I don't want to get stuck on this storyline. And I know it's a very polarizing thing. I just think that some people are going to find it interesting and some people are going to find it grossed out, because there are some folks in the comment section that totally agree with Keish. So, it's going to be interesting whether or not this storyline is going to take the show in a direction that it keeps it going. Is it going to bring up numbers for February sweeps? Because obviously that's what it looked like. That's why they're doing it. But yeah, I mean, I've seen it on other platforms where people are like, oh my God, Finn is the father. Oh, we got to see where this goes. And you got other folks that's grossed out.
So, yeah. I think, but once again, it keeps a conversation going on the show.
Yeah, especially when you got opposing views, of course. Just like the two of you were going, with your conversation.
And just to give my opinion on it, I think that's exactly what it is. I think with this, we've all, last year, a few of us thought they were going to go this route, and then for whatever reason, they skirmished away from it, maybe because of exactly what's going on now with people being grossed out and potential controversies. And I said this in our chat, I think now with this show not having a contract, that Bell is just going, all out. And he's going to pursue the storylines that maybe he wanted to pursue a little earlier but didn't. And he's probably saying, "Hey, if we're going to go, we're going to go with a blaze. I'm going all out with this." Because with today's episode, it really does look like, I mean, obviously we don't have anything official yet, but it's really looking like they're leaning towards Finn being this girl's father. And if anybody saw today's episode, and if you saw the sneak peek for next week, those interactions that he had with Poppy, you don't talk like that if you're not suspicious yourself. And we talked about, like, would it be, would he have known or something like that? It looks like not only is he going to be Luna's father, but he knows it wasn't an SA. It looks like he was involved with this woman willingly, and he was acting like he was holding a secret. Like, so it looks like they're really going the route that he probably did even ask her, because we talked about this too. Well, why wouldn't he have asked her? I wouldn't be surprised if in this conversation that they're having next week, that he literally says to her, "When I asked you, you told me I wasn't." It looked like that's where that conversation is going. That's why he said, "You need to tell me the truth." So it's definitely causing controversy, and I think that's what they want, because if you want attention on a show, and controversy brings attention, and if they're trying to get the contract renewed, it looks like they want to throw this out there and just have a bunch of, storylines be affected by this. Because this is if this is true, and he's that girl's father, this affects damn near everybody on the show. It's going to affect a lot of people on the show.
In creating storylines, I agree with that.
I mean,
David Hall said, sorry, I was going to read this. David Hall said they should have had Maury Povich run the paternity test. They all need to go to Jerry Springer. May he rest in peace. That's where this storyline needs to go.
Bridget Jackson said to me, going balls to the walls with that story. That's the exact term I use in our chat. I didn't see it here because I didn't want to say that word. But yeah, he's definitely going all the way with this story.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it was kind of crazy in that office where Lee was looking like she was losing it. I mean, she stabbed that man with a needle twice.
Mm-hmm. And can I say, he willingly did this? He could have just walked out the door. He just stood there. She said, "Sit down, lift up your shirt." And he just went ahead and just did it.
Jack knows better.
Yeah, well, you see what he said when he came back, when he's like, "I was excited to get your phone call that maybe you had softened your heart." This man won't Lee back.
Mm-hmm. Whatever she was doing for him, he wanted back. He almost he liked the first time she stabbed him. Mm-hmm. He smiled.
I told you the first time he was reminiscing after that first jab with the needle. But Keish, I would like to ask you, because obviously you are very appalled by what this potentially could be. But I wanted to ask you, after seeing today's episode and after seeing the sneak peek for next week, have you kind of accepted, because we talked about it's going to show, if Finn's the father, is going to show a 25% match, and I said they probably won't show that. They ended up not even mentioning anything like that about any 25% matches or anything like that. But have you kind of leaned towards now that you think they might go this route, despite you not wanting them to do it? Are you kind of accepting that it looks like they're going to make Finn Luna's father?
My issue isn't them making Finn Luna's father. My issue is Finn and Poppy having sex. That's what my issue is. If they were to make Finn Luna's father, and it was the situation the theory that I had before, that I talked to you
like
guys about before, about him getting a girl pregnant, and somehow Poppy found out, adopted Luna to keep her in the family. That was what my original theory was when this whole thing started a year ago. And they didn't want Finn to know, because they knew he would probably drop out of school so he could take care of his kid, because that's the kind of person Finn is. If that was where they were going with it, I would have no issue with that, because then that would bring in Luna's bio mom at some point, and she could be, a problem for Steffy. My issue is an aunt and a nephew having sex. That's what my issue is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But which way are you still holding out hope that it's what you were thinking, or by seeing what you've seen from today's events and the next week's sneak peeks, are you feeling like they are actually leaning towards that it was a Poppy and Finn thing, and Poppy is the mother and Finn is the father? Like, which way are you leaning towards?
I don't know, because in the spoilers for next week it says that Poppy and Jack have lunch at Il Giardino, and something about Sheila forcing an interaction with them. So the two of them, I think, still know something, and I have a hard time believing that Jack would know that his son and Poppy slept together, and he's been keeping that secret from Lee all of this time, and he would still be chummy with Poppy. I just don't believe that Jack would be so protective and so nice to Poppy, knowing that happened. So that's what gets me caught up right there, because I feel like he knows something, and I just don't feel like he would be protecting Poppy if that was what the secret was.
Yeah, and that's something I brought up. I was saying in the chat, I think he knows. He specifically knows that situation, that Poppy had the baby by Finn, and you said you don't think he would keep that secret as much as.
I think he would be pissed at Poppy. I think he would be disgusted and pissed at her if she got pregnant by his son that calls her Aunt Poppy.
See, I think he would be willing to do it. And Brie, I think you said this too, but I think he would have been willing to keep that secret just because he knew the dirt he did. So he was coming from a perspective of, well, I can't judge her because I've adopted my own biological son and haven't even told him. So he's done such a high level of dirt himself that maybe he was coming from a perspective that I can't even judge this woman.
It's one thing to keep a secret. It's another thing to be chummy with Poppy, knowing what she did. And to me, him having an affair on his wife, unfortunately, is a common thing amongst men. Mm-hmm. An adoptive aunt sleeping with her adoptive nephew is not okay, and it's not common. Okay. And it's not just something that you brush off and say, well, I've done some dirt, so I can't judge her. You absolutely can judge her, because Poppy was in a position of authority over Finn, being his aunt. It doesn't matter if she was only maybe 5 years or 6 years or 7 years older than Finn. She's his aunt. She's a trusted person in his life. You don't just be chummy with somebody that would have done something like that.
So, according to what Melissa Spencer is saying, that Lee said in an episode earlier last week or this week that Poppy wasn't around when they raised Finn, that she didn't show up until Finn was in college.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't grow up together?
She said that Poppy had been in and out of their lives. She never said that Poppy wasn't around when Finn was little.
I don't know.
She said you have come in and out of our lives over the years.
But a popping in and out, like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying. Either way, it's wrong.
Can we move
in and out doesn't.
We move on? Because we'll get the rest of it next week. And the thing is, I can understand Keish has a stance on that, and I know we have the other side of this as well. We still got to talk about the whole Daphne Steffy thing, and then this whole nonsensical BS between Luna and Bill. So I mean, this girl, we kind of talked about that part, but I was not feeling the content between Bill and Luna, because they kept bonding over their moms and all this kind of stuff. I was like, why are we? I could see if she said, well, I don't look like, anybody. Now, that part I can see is interesting, I guess, because it ties into the paternity storyline. But this whole thing about how terrible their moms was, and, we feel the same and all that. What did y'all think about that dialogue?
It's been repetitive for like 2 weeks now.
I know, right?
It's repetitive. Oh, go ahead, Keith.
I was just saying, I don't understand where they're going with it, other than to continuously talk about how bad of a mom Poppy is.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Bree?
I'm just kind of just underwhelmed, and I'm more so just annoyed with the fact that this girl is just walking around the house just freely. People can walk in and out. This man actually made a choice to lock the door, which I thought that was the most interesting part. Is he purposefully leaves that door unlocked, and he just has top flight security just at the gate. So, but that's a reason why he always wanted to keep his door locked. But now he thinks that no suspicion is going to be drawn with him doing that. Now that he wants to lock the door. But the fact that they're having these random conversations, I feel they're random because it absolutely serves no purpose. If she really is struggling with her identity and what she's done, sit her in front of a therapist if it boils down to that. And then all of a sudden now she's looking to him as a father figure, and they're bonding over what they've been through. Like, I just don't care for it. In all honesty.
How is he? Here's the other thing. None of the Nazawas know that she's even out of prison.
Exactly.
It's odd to me that they switched from her crushing on Bill to now back to wishing he was her father.
Well, remember the last couple of weeks she was crushing on Will, and then we ain't seen Will all week, so.
And he kind of laid down the groundwork to her that was over with. He told her to get that out of her mind, basically. So now I guess she's pushing the father figure role again because he has played her hero now by getting her out of there. And as far as the conversations go, to me, all of that was, it was very repetitive, but they did all of that for foreshadowing and juxtaposition, because her saying that, oh, I don't look like Tom. And then for me, the more important part was her saying she don't know where that side of her came from that made her do those things she did. All of that to me was foreshadowing because she's going to be Sheila's granddaughter. And that's where that edge came from. That's where her being willing to even turn to that dark side and off two grown men. That they're gonna see it. Like once it comes out, everybody's gonna say, "Oh!" Everybody's gonna just come to a realization and say, "Well, that's where it came from. She's Sheila's granddaughter." And so I think that's why they're doing that, because they're sprinkling breadcrumbs with these conversations, even with stuff that we've seen with Steffy. You even brought up earlier, like when she talked about, I can't remember if you brought it up here or if you brought it up in the chat, but you were saying she was in the preview, she was talking about how she can't wait to go celebrate her anniversary and stuff like that. A lot of these conversations are sprinkling breadcrumbs for the shocker that's about to be dropped. Even with Lee forgiving or asking Poppy for forgiveness and saying she wants her sister back, all of that is just to lead to this big shocking reveal.
Yeah. And for February sweeps too, since that starts next week. And you made a very good point. That's why we call her Baby Sheila, because she got it from somewhere.
I wonder
for her to have
what the fallout is going to look like when everybody find out that Bill has been having that girl at the house.
I'm still confused about how long is she supposed to be on house arrest?
You're right, because, technically, she unalived 2 people, so I would think that's 2 life sentences.
Yeah, that would be the case for 2 lives. Yeah.
Right, so, Bill is way older than her. Where is she going to stay if... After that whole thing, obviously it's going to blow up because of what's upcoming, but in the literal sense, Keish, it's like, how long is she supposed to be there if everything was to stay status quo?
And they haven't even begun, like, the conversation of, like, finding her, I don't know, it was all due to a mental illness or something like that, to try to do the loophole of not having her be in jail for the rest of her life. There's been no conversation about that. And like Bree said, there's been no therapy talk. Like, I thought Bill was going to have a therapist come in and talk to this girl. Like, this was going to be part of her routine of being on house arrest.
Well, Bill is her therapist, I guess, because they keep bonding over trauma, bonding over their parents.
Bill is the last person to need to be
Right.
anybody's therapist.
He need one himself. Let alone
Exactly.
try to be someone, be one for someone. And then also, when as I mean, nothing's official, of course, but if it does go this route and she does turn out to be Sheila's granddaughter, I don't know what they're gonna do with the sentencing. Will they even have a trial? Will that show up? But now, if it does come out that she's Sheila's grandchild, who's to say Sheila doesn't go to Deacon and Deacon goes to that judge in his pocket? And then maybe Luna gets off completely. Because if he used that same judge to wipe off Sheila's record, maybe he goes back again and says, hey, I need you to do one more favor. That's an option now, if she does indeed turn out to be Finn's daughter / Sheila's granddaughter.
How many more favors do Deacon have from this guy?
Him and that guy were very chummy.
Is this a lifetime supply of I can do any crime I want to and just go to this judge?
It looks like it's a situation because they were very chummy, and it looks like it's a situation where Deacon has watched this back in the past, and now he's watched Deacon. So if he goes to him again, the guy says, "Okay, now you owe me." I don't know, but that's something that's up in the air now. If it does turn out that she's Sheila's grandchild. So that's something else to think about. Like, how can Luna get off of these charges? Because we talked about this too, Keish. I was asking you, is she even contract still? And she is. So she's not going anywhere. If the show continues, apparently she's not going anywhere. So you would have to explain how she's not serving life sentences.
I had a question. What type of lawyer is Jack? Is he a criminal attorney or is he a corporate attorney?
I don't know if they've ever specified.
That's a good one too. Are you thinking he would defend his granddaughter if he needs to?
Because I remember that's where I was going with. Because I remember Sheila had called Jack for when she was locked up.
Oh,
so
she did.
So I would assume he's a criminal attorney. What if they make Finn the father and he wants to help out his daughter? He looked to his dad and say, "Hey, Dad, help get her off of these charges." Or something to that effect.
I feel like that should have been a conversation anyway because he's so fond of Poppy.
True.
That could still come into play though.
And then you see the long-standing ramifications, and this is what we talked about too, Keish, like making Finn the father affects more stories, because then you would have Steffy coming in and saying, wait, this girl had me locked in a cage. You're going to defend her? And then you might have to say, that's my daughter. Like, bro, this can turn up a lot of stories.
Exactly. And it's one thing to shoo Sheila away, but you're going to have him shoo his daughter away?
Yeah. Oh.
See?
Yeah, we'll see. Speaking of Steph had a conversation, and this is all probably tied into that whole storyline, but she was trying to have a conversation with Finn about whether his parents will get back together because, hey, my parents got back together. I'm like, really?
Just because your mother accepted all this cheating and all the back and forth, and she's stuck on stupid with the heart condition caused by your father, and she just goofy and gullible to get back with him, doesn't mean Lee is that. Lee said, look, you cheated on me, we done, we're good, bye.
Do you think that Lee would not, because, would give Jack the opportunity now that he's in the clear?
Well, it seemed like the basis of her reasoning for divorcing Jack was the Sheila affair.
Right.
Nothing to do with her sister. So I don't know. I don't see why this would change anything.
Oh, okay.
Unless she was just harboring all that anger for so many years that the Sheila thing was just the thing that put her over the edge. But I feel like, he had a kid with a whole other woman, so
I think it was the fact that because she said she's been harboring the idea of Poppy and her husband sleeping together for years, so she ate that and she's still stuck with her marriage. Mm-hmm. It was just the fact that he kept that whole affair to himself, kept the paternity to himself. He was the biological father, and he made her raise his mistress's child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that right there. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. I don't blame her, and I'm glad that Finn said that. He's like, I don't blame my mom for not wanting to get back with my dad. That was diabolical in itself.
Yeah, And if this turns out to be what you guys are saying, that he knew all along that something happened between Poppy and Finn, Jack may as well move to another continent.
Well, I mean, the actor is not going to be on that long. He only had a few episodes anyway. I was just throwing the question out there. You know, I wonder would this even give her the thought to maybe be like, dang, I was hard on him. But obviously, she still should be because, like you just said, he cheated, kept it a secret, and then she had to raise Psycho Sheila's baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Thinking they adopted a baby together when he was that boy's biological father. Like, oh man, that's wild.
He was dedicated and loyal to his lies. That's why it wouldn't be too far fetched for me that he would keep his son secret either.
Yes, I agree with that.
well, I'm wondering, does he know anything? If that is the case, that would be crazy. Then Leah be right back at square one with the both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be with everybody because Finn would have also lied to her.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't.
I
still don't think Finn would lie to his mom. I don't think Finn would lie about something like that.
But that's the thing that I'm really hoping that we get to see other sides to Finn, being that he is Sheila's son.
Well, according to the spoilers, there's a backstory that's going to be revealed with that whole thing on Wednesday, the 29th.
Mm.
Yep. So
Lordy.
We know bold spoilers untrustworthy, but still,
it's gotta we got the promo with the conversation between those two, so something is about to be released.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Anyway, now this is where I don't think Jay is really feeling is the Daphne situation.
Oh.
Oui.
Yeah, I'm not, and I've come up with actually during this live, I've come up with a nickname. Now I saw earlier tonight we were still talking YNR. David Hall said Daphne is horrible, and I didn't get a chance to respond to him. I agree with you. I'm not the biggest fan of Daphne, and I'm calling her Daphne. Going forward, Daphne, DAFT, because she's boring to me. I don't care for her at all. I'm tired of her little awkward faces and her "I'm holier than thou" presence, and I'm not feeling it at all. I don't want to go too hard on her because she's only been on for a short little while, and I know you guys like her. She is beautiful. I have said that, but I'm just not feeling that character at all. And I wonder how many people besides David Hall are not feeling Daphne along with me.
Bree, Keish.
I don't mind her, only because I've only seen her in a few episodes, and me personally, I feel like she's filling the character out. And she's French, and I would say maybe it's a Parisian sort of attitude, sort of thing, and maybe overseas, that carries pretty well. But I also feel that not everyone is going to portray the good girl or the girl next door. Like we were kept saying that she's a femme fatale, or that, there's just certain people in this world who move a certain way. And this is how I felt at first when it came to Audra, when she first came onto the scene. She gives that sort of commanding presence. I mean, granted, these are two different actresses, but here we have a little bit of a French sort of twist. And I want to try to give it at least a month or so just to see how she interacts with other characters, especially with Carter, since that's her main purpose, was to try to seduce Carter. But I think it's just given a French Parisian sort of attitude, and maybe it's just not reading well.
Let me ask you guys in the chat. Drop a 1 if you like the Daphne character. Drop a 2 if you're not feeling the Daphne character. So a 1 if you like the Daphne character, or a 2 if you're not feeling it. Now I'm assuming Jay, you have a 2, and Bree has a 1. What about you, Keish?
I in the middle. I like the idea of the Daphne character. I like that Steffi has a friend, but I do kind of see where Jay is coming from. Where it's like, I don't know. It's like in her scenes, like even with Steffi, I feel like Steffi is doing most of the talking, and then Daphne's dialogue is like one or two words.
Yes.
So that's kind of weird to me. It's like, why doesn't this girl have full sentences? Like, why aren't they having a full back and forth conversation? Why is she just like giving her one or two word answers, but whoever she's in the scene with is doing the majority of the talking? That part of it is a little weird to me.
It's one or two word replies and then facial reactions.
It's
Yeah.
I can kind of see what you're saying. Now, I like the Daphne character because I like seduction. However, and that femme fatale thing, and I know Bree and I was talking about that in the chat, especially about golden goddesses characters from back in the day. Um, However, it's almost like she have a hard time speaking English and only can say a few words.
Yes. That is what it feels like. Like she's just learning the language or something.
Right. Exactly.
Which we know that's not true.
Right, but that's the way that they can, because I mean she says certain things in French, and maybe they want her to be like she's directly from French, and that's not her first, and English is not her first language.
Or maybe that she's so, I mean, if she's coming from Paris, I mean, her main language is going to be
French.
Mm-hmm. And, she's trying to move from that sort of culture. Same way like Ivy had to move away from the Australian culture to go over to LA. Like I think it's more so she's just transitioning. That's why I don't want to prejudge her too much. I want to try to give her at least a month. And maybe like the writers are trying to like figure out how they want to further develop her storyline. That's why they haven't given her much to say just yet. But what I was saying in the group chat earlier is like, even when it came to like Lee and like how aggressive she was and like her demeanor and how, she speaks to like her family when she first came onto the show, and the actors, all three of the actors had to clarify like, hey, that's part of the Asian culture. Maybe how Daphne acts is part of like the French culture, and she's just trying to translate that this is a French woman coming to America and this is how she is.
No, I don't know. I don't think she have a lot to say, because it's like few words here and there, and she says some French words. Like when Carter says ask her something, she just answer with one word in French. And and sometimes I be like, what she just say?
Yeah, Bree, and I don't even know if that is necessarily the case, because French people are not known for one or two letter words. If anything, they're known for talking a lot. They say a lot of words when they're talking. So I don't even think that is a French thing, though. 1 and 2 word responses. So and then going back to what you said, even with femme fatales, though, a big part, like when you watch those old throwback movies, a lot of the femme fatale seduction is in their words. Like there's talking involved. Like, so I don't even necessarily, she has like a look. She could totally pull off a look of a femme fatale, but even that doesn't really come off, because you don't really see femme fatales that are short of words. They're usually always saying, they have something to say.
But she got a lot of body language too. So she has a lot of nonverbal communication. The way that she gets up close on Carter, and she stuck that scarf on the inside of his coat, and she made sure that he smelled her fragrance, and then she walked away. And so she has the 1 or 2 words, but the body language is also speaking too.
Yeah, she does have the body language. I mean, if she was in a Charlie Chaplin film, she would win an Oscar because she would be great at that.
But you said she was in one of those silent movies.
Yeah, she was one of those silent Charlie Chaplin films, and she was doing the body language and all of that, and all that 1 word, 2 word. She would be amazing in a film like that.
You are so funny.
And Mary, she's a French actress. That's her accent.
Mm-hmm. Muriel Heller is her name.
Yeah, she a French. That's so she's a French girl, and this is how she sounds. That's her accent.
Well, I can't wait till we tell Muriel au revoir and she goes back to Paris because I'm not really.
Well, wait a minute. You mean you mean Daphne?
What? Yeah, definitely the character. My fault.
Yeah, au revoir.
Now, let me ask you this: what do you think about Carter? Do you think he gonna take the bait?
No,
I don't think he is. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if he catches on. It was just debating that in the comments. Will he catch on? A lot of people said no because a lot of people think he's a simp and a dunce. But I think there might be even a chance he catches on to what they're doing over there. But I definitely don't think he's gonna fall for her.
Yeah, Steffi she's way too confident about the fact that Daphne is going to be able to pull Carter away from Hope. Like they talk about it every time they're in a scene together. Mm-hmm. And when they have a character say it too many times that the opposite is going to happen. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to work. And I saw there was an article that one of the, I don't know if that lady's a producer on the show. She's one of the people that works on Bold and Beautiful that she had linked to her story. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about the Daphne character and how this could possibly backfire on Steffi because Daphne and Ridge seem to have like some chemistry or something like that, and that she didn't just come to town to do this little job for Steffi, that she's going to want something for herself. And they were insinuating that maybe she ends up pulling Ridge away from Taylor. Like, Jesus Christ, Taylor just has no luck.
Right.
It wasn't a spoiler. It was like a insinuation that it could happen.
Okay. Yeah, Sammy said, I think Steffi is way too cocky. Her plan might backfire.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Seems like
she's going to have bigger problems to worry about anyway.
Go ahead, Bree.
I was looking at the chat. Some people are saying, yeah, he's gonna take the bait, and some people said no. After the preview for next week, I honestly don't think that he will. I think amazing, I'm changing this, but I think he's going to stay loyal to Hope. I don't think Hope is going to stay loyal to him, though, because I feel there's a door that's going to be open for her to go to Finn, and I think that's where he's going to have that realization that, oh, I did all of this for Hope, and she didn't really want me. She really wanted Finn. So I'm going to say that he's not going to fall for Daphne. I think he's going to enjoy the flirtation, and I think she's going to give it a really good try. But like you guys said, I think he'll eventually catch on, because he already has his guard up, or his antennas up a little bit, even though he's a terrible leader. But he has his antenna up in regards to this. But I think he will be loyal, since I think he's the only one who is loving Hope in this regard, but I don't think she generally loves him. And when that door opens in regards to Finn, if Finn and Steffi break up after the DNA paternity thing, she's going to go to Finn, because she's already made up in her head that she is kindred spirits with this man. She fantasized about this man, and all she wanted was a window of opportunity. I think she's going to take that and leave Carter to the side.
Finn has got to be interested in her, though, which he wasn't.
It's not a matter of him being interested. It's the fact that she would take the opportunity to go after him and leave Carter hanging.
But why would she leave a man that's madly in love with her and has done what he's done for her, for somebody who hasn't shown any interest in her at all?
There's a lot of that's the question of the dating world. There's a lot of that's the question of the dating world. There's plenty of women who have.
I just don't think she's checking for Finn like that anymore. to be honest. I think she's over that.
I don't think she is either. And how stupid would you be to work so hard to try to pull a man who showed no interest in you, who is head over heels in love with Steffy, and put yourself back in that same situation that you claim not to want anymore, where Liam is concerned?
Might be a sense of power. Same way she feels powerful taking over the company. Now she's going to really try to put that knife in Steffi's back by getting with the man that she actually wanted. It was never Carter. Carter was just a matter of convenience, and he offered her an opportunity.
But Finn would only be available because Steffi would drop him, so she wouldn't have any power. The power would be taking Finn while he's still with Steffi. There's no power in taking Finn when Steffi's already let him go.
But here's the thing: it's a matter of the window of opportunity. If he allows that to happen, if Steffi and Finn break up for whatever reason, it's a matter of Hope even remotely wanting to go in that man's direction if she supposedly loves Carter.
And then
so it's not really Carter, if. Sorry. I was saying so it's not really if Finn would reject her or not. It's just the fact that she would drop Carter in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
And she would really just be showing you were never interested in Carter.
Exactly.
So regardless of what happens on the other end of Finn, this was just you saying that she's just going to show to everybody she was using Carter, like Steffi and Ridge and everybody thought she was.
Exactly. And then Carter would have that realization. And whether or not he hands them back the company, I think that might be the direction they could go in. But it would have to be Hope to cause a rift in between her relationship with Carter, if we can call it that, versus Carter cheating with Daphne, in my opinion.
I don't see that happening only because if Hope does that to Carter, she wouldn't even have to worry about Steffi and the family getting the company back. He'll drop Hope for the future himself and then hand the company back to the Forcers. So she would lose out on everything she fought so hard to get back. So I don't see her risking that for Finn.
And she did say she loves Carter. I know that the narrative is that that Hope is using him. I feel like Hope isn't the kind of character that's going to tell somebody she loves them if she doesn't love them. I think she thinks she's in love with Carter. Like I don't think that she's truly using Carter. Like I'm just going to get whatever I can from this guy and then drop him the minute I find a man that I really want to be with. I think she thinks that she's in love with Carter. I don't think it's an act.
Yeah, you know how like Steffi and Ridge are going around saying she's using him. I don't think it's like that, like how they think it is. I think you're right along those lines, Keish, that she actually does believe she has feelings for him.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering how they even have a company because who's designing for Brooke's bedroom line? Hope is not design. I mean, Zende can't be doing couture and the bedroom line and Hope for the future. Hope is not doing any work. We saw her do a little bit of something talking to Steffi today, but she's been in the office with Carter all this time. I mean, it's like, is anybody doing any work there?
Maybe they got RJ in the basement designing his mom's painting.
In Thorne's old office.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
and
you're
then
right.
Where's the CEO? She's off trying to figure out how to get back with her ex.
And Aditya believe said, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, but T is right. They haven't talked about the designers of the other lines. All we've heard about is Zende designing for Hope for the Future, which is the one line that is not profitable right now.
Okay, did you get my message, Keish? I tagged you.
Where?
I tagged you earlier because I heard that there was a what they call it, those clips that put out that wasn't in the US episodes.
Oh, like a bonus scene?
Yes.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. I think it was from the 23rd. But in there is where Carter is saying that Hope's line is back on track. And I'm like, since when?
Like it's making money?
It's back on track. So I'm like, wait a minute, y'all. And obviously they didn't show us that. But it's in the bonus scene. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. Cause ain't nobody been
Yeah.
doing nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to point out just a couple of comments real quick from the chat. Aditha Lee said, Hope loves Hope for the future more than any man. I didn't see that all of 2024 when she let every quarter just fail and flop, and buyers were turning away from her designs, and she refused to go to the drawing board because she was so focused on trying to get thin. Bridget Jackson. Bridget Jackson said, "Well, we all know Hope is going to break Carter's heart. That is so coming, and yeah, Hope is going to try to get with Finn." And then Jenna said she's in love with Carter's power, and that's what I fully believe. Because she even said when she was talking with her mother, I love him for that. I love what he does for us. Has nothing to do with the man itself. It's almost whenever she brings up love, in my opinion, it has nothing to do with the man himself.
But she said I love him, and told him I love you too, and he said it to her. So it's not just I love him for that, like she did to Thomas that one day in the cabin when Liam was there. Yeah. Like
And
she's actually said I love you too.
And didn't they even say that when it was looking like he wasn't going to be able to get the company too? So like they were saying that to each other even then.
Yeah, she said it before he decided to try to take the company over.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really forced that together because, I mean,
yeah,
it was forced. I mean, I keep going back to the episode, I think it's September-ish, something like that, maybe early October, where she was in there daydreaming about Finn, and Carter walked in and made his intentions known, and all of a sudden she flipped the switch.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Look,
so it's like,
I'm not saying it makes sense, but
they're taking it for what it is and just going with what they're showing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I know that I'm assuming they fired or Matt quit or something. But to just eradicate the Thope, that's like history
that was
now.
wild.
You know, and try to erase the history. We kind of talked about this a few times over the past fall on what happened in Rome, and Carter was all about Hope when he was supposed to be with Katie, and you know, Carter had in the summer of last year, Hope was nowhere on his radar except for the fact that her line was not thriving, or what was the word he was performing or something.
It was underperforming.
You know. So, and then by season 38, when, you know, that started in September, October, it's like, oh my God, Hope, I've always been thinking about you since 2023. And I'm like,
the Rome flashback is what took me out.
Yeah, and then you want to carve Thomas out.
Cutting Thomas off. What they do, they basically cut him off and just showed Carter reacting to her. Like, okay, that was something else right there.
Right, at the same time dating his her aunt. Yeah, okay. And yeah, I don't know. And then when you ask Katie, who was that, Brooke? Or one of them asked Katie, oh, we've been over a long time ago. Yeah, what, like 3 months?
Yeah, she was talking to Brooke.
Right. Yeah. You know, so it's just a mess how they did this and trying to recon history and take out Tom for no reason, and somebody else is now the daddy, which I'm assuming Poppy had an alphabet soup in her womb, so, you know. It's just
not an alphabet soup.
I mean, it had to be. I mean, she can see. Like, that is insane. That's a lot of men to conceive in that time frame to create Luna. That's a lot of men. Even her daughter said it was a lot of men. And
yeah, I mean, obviously she did not. I mean, 20 years ago was only like 2004 or 5. So it's not like it wasn't options for stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she obviously was a free spirit, and she was like, you want to go to the back room? And, right. You want to go to the back room? Oh, yeah, you hot. Let's go.
She better not have been hot while she was in all that grief either.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Bree, I
Anyway,
can see Liam possibly causing issues between Carter and Hope, and Carter getting insecure.
that's
I don't know,
possible.
man. He ain't got nothing to do right now.
Maybe they should have had
Can
Daphne.
he do Ivy?
Maybe they should have had
Can he
Daphne.
do Ivy? You say he ain't got nothing to do. I know. What's up with Ivy?
I don't know. We haven't seen her or Electra and Remy. They just
Ivy's just around for the Electra story.
thing.
Electra disappeared just about the same time as her stalker did.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, anywho. Yeah, exactly. Jenna says she's over all of this. I'm just curious to see if Daphne can actually pull Carter. I really am interested in seeing that. But they need to give her more dialogue.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. And I actually want to see them. Producers, B&B, Brad Bell, if you're listening, please, like, let her hair down, put her in a dress. Like, if she's supposed to be a femme fatale, let her look the part. Because I think that would also kind of sell the character a little bit. For me.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at that picture on the bottom left, you know who she kind of reminds me of?
Who?
She kind of looks like a Timu Paula Patton.
What?
She does remind me of Paula Patton.
He said Timu, though.
Timu?
You gotta call her Timu.
Why not she?
Because she's not the authentic. I don't mean anything. She's beautiful, but she's not the Paula Patton. So I just threw Timu. But she looks reminiscent of Paula Patton.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's better.
They do. Yeah, they do resemble each other.
You said Timu.
Right.
It could have been Sheen. It could have been something else.
Well, as long as it wasn't Wish or the Dollar General version.
Yeah, I didn't go Wish. Wish is the worst of the worst.
I like reminiscent. I think that's more.
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Okay.
Or favors.
Yeah.
He favors
they resemble
her.
each other.
Yeah. He went straight for Timu. Boy, I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
No, that. And then, what did y'all think about the interaction between Hope and Steffy?
I love Steffi's petty.
I did notice as Hope was starting to say a few things that was scaring Steffi. If you noticed, like when she said Daphne is mysterious, she said mysterious. So she was kind of on alert for anything Hope may be getting close to. So she's kind of on edge of Hope figuring something out.
I don't think Steffi's on edge at all.
You didn't notice that? Specifically when she mentioned the mysterious part, she definitely had a reaction to that. Like, why are you calling her mysterious? Like, she was on alert for that.
It didn't come across that way to me.
Me either. For me, I think she's just, she's just on high alert and just covering her bases. And, it wouldn't be, Steffi's not overconfident to just think that no one's going to be somewhat suspicious of her. Because she even said, they're going to, watch me like a hawk and suspect for my real,
Which is why I was surprised. Which is why I was surprised she was talking to Daphne in the office like that anyway. I don't feel like she should have. I mean, I guess you can't avoid it, but at the same time, if anybody would have walked in on them having that conversation,
that was not smart. She should have
said, she locked the door.
Yeah,
we don't know.
She locked the door. They showed us specifically that she pulled that latch across the door. But why even have that conversation in that period?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to be working together. Steffi's president of the company, so she's going to interact to some degree with Daphne.
Right, but the intention that Steffi gave to Hope is if she never knew that the girl was in there and that she was enthralled about the fact that she was in the building, and now all of a sudden you in there locked in a room with her, it's going to look suspect. That conversation should have happened at Steph's house.
Mm-hmm. Or they could have texted. We know Brooks loved texting.
They're going to get caught up if they keep doing that.
I think that's how it even come out. Like people
If they
will
keep
wonder what
doing
it's part
what?
of them.
Just
Like
having
having
these
conversations behind.
conversations like that.
The way they openly talk in Eric's house alone is like, y'all remember Donna lived there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And they just openly talk about Steffi's plan.
And if Donna's loyal to, you know, to her Logan girls, if she sees something over here, something, maybe she lets Hope know. And if they keep talking like that at the office, it may be Carter just even overhearing something that puts him on anyway. Like, that could be the whole reason why he doesn't even fall for her. He might overhear something and just keep playing along, knowing what they were really planning all along. So I don't know how that's going to play out.
Mm-hmm. I had this. Somebody was spamming in the chat.
Is the actress who's playing Daphne here for a short run too? She's not contract, right?
I think she like a short contract. Well, I don't know. It depends on how long they're going to do this coup storyline.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It depends on how this gonna play out. You know. So.
I actually kind of agree with that. There's some people who are saying that Daphne might be interesting with Zende. And, I'm surprised that Steffi hasn't even shed light to Zende, since he is also kind of part of the plan that he's going to try to undermine Hope and Carter to try to get the company back. Why isn't she not sharing that with him either?
Well, we probably get more of that next week. A lot of this week, the last 4 days, was all about this doggone paternity mess.
Well, and Zende was at the mansion with the family one of the days where Steffi was talking about what she was planning to do, right? So he at least knows what she's doing, right?
No,
only
Ridge knows.
Yeah, he questioned it. He's like, he wished that he knew what was going on so he can be aware.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Eric...
He doesn't even know that she has a plan? I thought he at least knew that. Even if he didn't know the details, he doesn't even know.
He knows that she has a plan. Like it's just the details, so
right,
he can
she
be
don't
on.
Know what it is, right? Yeah. Only person that know what it is Ridge.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, did we cover everything? Because I know we kind of touched this week and anything that could possibly be coming
next week. I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I have to say, I love that picture at the bottom right, because for a brief moment we got to see Lee, break down, and she said, "Hey, I'm going to be open to having a relationship with my sister," even though it's going to be very short lived. It was nice to see the actress, give the character, more depth. Mm-hmm. And same way like the actress who plays Audra, she's giving her character, more depth. There's just, it just creates, more dynamics with that character. So I was happy to see that for Lee.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right, you guys, we got to move on to our final segments, our flip the script, which is if there's a particular scene or storyline you wish you could change, this is where we flip the script. So what do you got for Y and R?
I can't even remember nothing that happened on Y and R.
It's just a blur.
I'll give mine. I would go with the thing I mentioned earlier. I would have flipped the script and had Phyllis be the one that found Sharon. I felt like that would have been more of a dramatic kind of turns of events. The way they had Mariah just strolling across the park and seeing her was very anticlimactic, like one of you said earlier. So that was probably the one I would have done. I would have had Sharon be the one Phyllis be the one that found Sharon in the park.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Jay's flip. You know what my flip would be? Where Billy is living right now would actually be Summer's house or Chance.
No.
I hate that Billy has an apartment.
Okay. What you got, Brie?
I would have loved for, with a sleight of hand, Jordan switched the drinks and it's actually Claire who sips. And the family would be so worried about trying to save Claire. That's a way for Jordan to escape and sneak out. And once again, Jordan gets away with the versus what we're seeing here in the picture, where she just laid there croaked up. taking a long nap because I don't think she's on the line.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And then mine would have been they could have did something climactic when it comes to the ending of Jordan and Sharon getting out of that sewer. It's just, I mean, it was one thing for her to let herself go, only to stay down there another week. I didn't like the way that they did that, and then she's down in the sewer. But I mean, she looked like there's a bunch of okay. When I look at that picture that with Nick there's a bunch of stairs up there. So
Right.
she obviously were down below. So how did your weak self get up out of that hole?
Yeah, with
That
some
was
heels.
with PCP in your system.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that was crazy writing to me. All right, what you got for Bold?
I would have loved for Liam to sneak back onto the property and catch Luna. That, I mean, and kind of move that storyline along. Because, like, after Bill has said, like, no one goes through the gates, that somebody has to call me, I want Liam to just use his key to unlock the door, and he sees Luna in the living room.
Okay. What about you, Keish and Jay?
I would have had the actual paternity results this week be the week that we just know who the father is instead of dragging it out some more. I'm so tired of this storyline.
Yeah, I know you don't like the way it's going either.
Well, with that, see, with Monday's interruption and us not getting episodes, we would have had this upcoming Monday's episode today.
No.
Then, right? No?
No, it was already scheduled. The inauguration happens once
Oh,
every
that's right,
year
'cause
on
that's planned
January
ahead of time.
20th. So they
Yeah.
automatically did not schedule a show on it. It wasn't pushed back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my flip for Bold, I would have had that door be unlocked because they usually do have that door unlocked, and I would have had Hope seeing Steffy talking to Daphne, just to put some suspicions in her mind.
Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I would change on there. I did not like the whole parental trauma bonding between Luna and Bill. They could have did something else with that dialogue. It just didn't make sense. Now, it's one thing if she's still trying to figure out why she don't look like anybody. I get that because that ties into the paternity. But all that other stuff about them talking about like you said, it was repetitive for the last 2 weeks. And then Luna was sitting up there every time she wanted to rope Bill in. Well, your mom is just like mine. And I'm like, okay. So, yeah, I would have figured out something else outside of them going back and forth for the last 2 weeks. All right.
And I would also flip and get Luna out of that same jean jumpsuit and put her in some other clothes.
I think everybody been in the same outfit for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, because Hope had on that blue dress for the longest. Until did she have a blue dress on in that picture? She sure did.
They ain't got no contract right now, so they saving budget wherever they can. So I guess they want to go to one of the departments, but they
got to stretch the wardrobe.
Right. I guess. All right. Who's taking seats on The Young and the Restless?
Tessa.
Okay. What you got, Bree and Jay?
I'll go Tessa and Jordan because she should have been, as diabolical as that they have shown this woman to be, she should have been smart enough not to go on their turf. Bree. So I'll say Tessa for listening to Ian and Jordan for going on their territory.
Bree?
I agree with that. That's actually perfect. Both Tessa and Jordan, they both disappointed me this week.
I'm going to give it to Victoria for trying to dare a psychopath. Like, girl, man, just give
wish I
me
could be
a
alone with
moment with
you.
me and you in the room by ourselves. Girl, they're going to carry you out on the stretcher because you're going to get poisoned.
Yeah.
I said, girl, please, the second she even that came out of her mouth, I wish I could be alone with you. I'm like, really? And then Jordan said the same thing. You sure about that? Because we can make that happen.
Yeah, so she needs to go somewhere and sit down while she trying to be big and bad. Why? Because your daddy in the room? Yeah, okay. Did everybody get their seats in for Y&R? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bold.
Yeah.
Bill and Luna.
Yep.
I'm tired of this. They didn't have the same conversation for 2 weeks now.
And he keep asking, can you tell me once again?
Yeah, why do you keep asking her that?
Right.
I don't understand it. Why do you keep wanting to hear that story?
Right.
Like, it's not going to change. Like,
Yeah.
I'll go Steffi and Daphne for me. They should not have had that conversation at the office, even with the door locked. Like, y'all could have waited until y'all got somewhere a little bit more private.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give Lee a seat because she broke a whole bunch of violations. No consent, HIPAA violations, all types of things. Because even Poppy called out. She was like, you didn't get Luna's consent. I don't care. And then you attack a man with a needle just to take his blood.
My girl's traumatized, y'all. Leave her alone. She had to do what she needed to do.
We even talked about that in the chat because I was talking to Keisha about that. She said they probably won't even acknowledge that. And I was like, yeah, you're right. They probably won't. And she actually did say, Luna didn't give you consent.
Right, she sure did. Breaking all type of violations up in there. Like, girl, you gonna get your license revoked.
They not gonna turn Lee in.
Nope. And as you can see, Poppy didn't say anything. Jack didn't say anything. It was not going to go anywhere. They know how Lee is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, she still needs to take a seat. That ain't none of her business anyway.
She definitely will take a seat when she found out her son is that girl's father. She's gonna have to take a seat.
Yeah, she gonna take a seat. She gonna pass out.
Exactly.
But you open the door, counselor, since you want to dig around in people's paternity. Well, you're going to dig into something, you open the door to something else. Pandora's box.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else? Y'all got all the seats in?
Mm-hmm.
Bree, did you give your seats for
both? I agreed with Keish, with Bill and Luna. They definitely deserve a seat. I just had a realization: Lee and Sheila would have the same grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
maybe they can be friends. Finally.
Well, listen.
I mean, they got the same son. Her grandchild ain't gonna be any worse.
Wait a minute. Yeah, you're right. Crazy. I mean, Phyllis shared a grandchild with Sheila too, so.
Ooh.
Hey. Mm-hmm. Ooh, goodness.
Sheila family tree, boy.
that was my flip. I almost forgot. Okay.
Daisy, Luna.
Yeah, I mean.
Sheila. Ooh.
Yeah. Daisy and Finn are siblings.
Don't let Daisy show up.
So technically, Luna.
I'll show all of y'all some crazy.
Luna and Lucy are cousins. Luna and Lucy.
And Luna is around the same age as Faith. Can you imagine Lucy being obsessed with her and wanting to hang out with her all the time?
They have that obsession thing. Oh, wow. Ooh, wee.
It'd be nice if they crossed that over. I wish they could have.
You know what I wish? I wish that Lucy was the one who underlined Heather, and we wouldn't have got this whole extended Sharon storyline where Ian and Jordan.
Really wishing for
Wait a minute, Bree. You are trying to be. That's some diabolical work.
It would be better than the ending we got with Jordan.
Well.
I wish the kid did it. Yeah.
See, thank you. Yeah, Lucy. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Lucy take out her mother.
Look. It was better than looping us around with this whole Jordan Ian thing. For me, but They need to cross Lucy and Luna. Oh my goodness.
What a
Lucy,
trifecta.
Luna, and Sheila.
If Lucy did do that, what a trifecta that would be. Lucy, Luna, and Sheila? Those three?
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
Looney Tunes.
Oh man.
Sheila Spahns.
Yes.
Mhm.
See, that girl has to be his child. Got to be Sheila's
I mean,
grandchild.
well, if they age her up another 2 years in the last 6 months, she'll be 18. So, you know, maybe they'll send her over to LA for college or something. She running to Luna and Sheila over there. I mean, I would think at some point Sheila got kids everywhere.
Whew.
Talk about a 3 or 4.
For real. Okay.
Ryder is her son, right?
Listen, she had that
Yeah.
psychotic.
Yes.
But well, remember, because Ryder and what's her name, Daisy.
And they were
Yeah, their
brothers.
daddy is terrible Tom. So I mean, it's all types of. Lucy got the
Wow,
worst
the 6
genetics.
degrees of separation is crazy because Terrible Tom is Kevin's father, right?
Yeah, and
Yep.
Michael, ain't it?
And Michael.
Yep.
Yeah. That's 6 degrees of separation right there.
Yeah,
Is insane.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Whew.
Wait a minute. So Daisy and Ryder are Kevin and Michael's siblings,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
who are also
Siblings.
Finn's
Yep.
sibling.
Yep.
Boy, all the connections. Boy, I tell you.
Sheila made her connections. She did
Yeah.
her crimes, and then she was spreading why.
She
So
was her genetic imprint all over these CBS soaps.
look, she was really competing with Brooke at that time.
Well, that's that psychotic sex. They be talking about these wild folks. So they obviously she was drawing them in.
And Jack too, apparently.
Yeah, Jack too. Jack was like, let me see,
That's
Lee.
why he enjoyed Lee jabbing him. It's probably because
Exactly.
he do it to her.
Exactly. Even Bill had to get a little taste of it.
Oh
And
my.
he called himself undercover.
I still can't believe Bill went that far with her.
Although we know there was one thing specifically Bill wasn't tasting, if you remember what Sheila said.
What Sheila say?
Oh, that's
You remember
great.
Sheila mentioned it was a certain thing Bill wouldn't do.
Oh,
Oh. Oh.
So he wasn't getting that full taste.
oh my
Oh.
God.
What am I missing?
Sheila
say?
mentioned that Bill wouldn't do
Wait
a
a minute.
certain
What did
thing.
she say?
She said, what did she missing?
What she
We'll say it in the
missing?
group chat. We'll do
Okay.
the group chat.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember.
I think if I remember correctly, I don't think he takes the subway.
Yes.
She actually said that,
She
like,
doesn't like going to
alluded to that.
downtown. She doesn't like going downtown.
Sheila alluded to that.
Yes, she did.
Oh.
It was
Whereas,
when Deacon had basically asked her to compare, like who was the better lover, and that was one of the things she mentioned that, made him better because Bill wasn't willing to do that.
I must have blocked that out.
yeah, because Deacon loved Sheila all the way down to her 9 toes.
Yeah,
He-
to the toes, from head to toes,
yes.
from head to 9 toes.
Oh my God, y'all crazy. Wow. I forget. Y'all, it takes Jay to come up with something that he can remember like that.
Oh, goodness. Where are we at the start of the week or
Yes.
something?
Yeah, we need to get our part of the week.
Oh.
I'm going to give it to Haley Aaron.
Mm-hmm. Same.
She
I
flipped
agree
the
with that.
script. She went from,
Yeah, I
like
agree
I
with
said,
that.
she went from childlike to dark.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Haley Aaron for me as well.
And then
You
what
gonna make that a clean sweet, Bree?
No, I was going to give it to, something different. I was going to give it to the hair and makeup department. Because, like,
Jordan Williams.
Jordan's wigs, the fact that Sharon's makeup and hair was put together, the fact that Nikki still looks like Rhythm Nation.
Oh.
I wanted to give hair and makeup their props this week.
I mean, she wore that doggone outfit for what, the last 2-3 weeks?
Nikki was looking like a whole Dynasty character in that outfit and that hairstyle.
Her hair and stuff look good. I don't know about that outfit though. It does look like Rhythm Nation.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Exactly. And then Bold Star of the Week.
The actress who plays Lee for me, if y'all can help me. Naomi, yes, because even though she did a lot of crazy, we saw a lot of range of emotions. We saw her raged, we saw her enraged. We saw her basically losing it. We saw her jabbing this man with a needle. Then we saw her sobbing and crying and telling him sorry, and she wants her sister back. So we saw the full range of emotions that she could go through. And this week, and I thought she really had a great performance.
Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
agree with Jay.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Bree?
I'm gonna give it to Jackie, actually.
Really?
Because yeah.
Okay.
Because the way that she's portraying this role, like she's being
helpful,
but more importantly, she's being very sneaky. She's given what's been given to her family, and she's doing it right underneath Hope and Carter's nose. And the way that she's been very convincing. Oh, I really am looking out for my interests. I'm really looking out, to do right by the company. And I know this is really talented for me on her part. Like, good for Jackie to show that this is a different side to Steffi, that she's got her business hat on and ready to take over.
Okay. Pickle of the week. Young and the Restless. Sharon in that sewer.
Yeah, Sharon just showing up in the park, and that's how she ends up getting found, was just
blah, exactly.
Tessa for me, for even sitting there entertaining that lunatic Ian Ward and his cultish ways. So I don't know why she was looking at that man with those hopeful eyes and wanting to believe him so badly. So I would give it to Tessa.
She kept going back and forth talking about, well, he saved my life. Girl, if you knew the whole story. That man drugged you in order to save you.
And, I mean, he also groomed your wife.
Right.
So regardless of the fact that he saved your life, there's still that can't be washed away.
Any more pickles?
Jordan for me. I'm sorry. This right here, she was absolutely foolish, just gullible. You gonna go to that woman's property. You just goofy. Like, she should have caught on, especially since she was the teacher.
You know what, Bree? Here's the thing. You came all the way, broke out of jail to get to Claire, and you actually had her before the ranch. She could have easily just popped her upside the head, maybe pull out a piece of chloroform. Boom. She got her. They were in the park and everything.
Yeah. That made absolutely no sense. And just let this girl question you, like, what happened with Sharon? Did you do this to Heather? And I'm like, your antennas didn't go up. You just gullible and goofy. So yeah, she's the pickle this week. And you just go ahead and just drink the sleeping pills because you don't want to go back to jail.
Right.
I mean, at least you're alive in jail. But I guess
pickles on Bold.
This whole paternity storyline is a pickle for me.
Yeah, I know, Keish. I know, because you are not feeling it. My pickle is that whole repetitive dialogue between Bill and Luna.
That'll be my pickle as well, the Bill and Luna stuff.
Mine is going to be Poppy, because she knows she's lying to her sister, and she knows she's been gaslighting her sister too. And I can't wait for all of that to come out next week.
Okay. Do we have finally a Simp Olympic winner?
You know what? I'm gonna give it to Nick.
You're gonna give it to Nick, okay?
You see how quickly he left Victoria's house as soon as they found out. Oh, Sharon's alive. He went ahead and he put his cape on. I think he was a little jealous he couldn't save her. That was Mariah who saved her or found her. But he started right over. He completely forgot all about Jordan.
And that was a woman that had his whole family in her house, about a year or so ago, and she was able to take them all out. So I know they had the advantage this time around, but still, yeah, you're right. He left fairly quickly for a woman that was able to take his whole family out once before.
Yep. And taking in all the smells, the funk, and everything that came into that house.
Oh man, she probably should have took a shower instead of a bath, because all that came off of her, she had to sit in that mess.
Oh, did she say bath? I thought she said shower.
No,
I thought
she
said
took a hot bath.
Oh Lord.
So she was in a soup of
sewer.
She had a broth, a sewer broth.
Oh Lord. Oh wow. Okay. And he was just happy to just take in all of that. I guess. See, that's why he got the Simp award. He put his cape on just for that.
I've been like, look, don't sit down. Go straight to the bathroom.
Like we're happy you're alive, but you know.
Well, him saying that would have been wild because that's her house. Imagine telling somebody not to sit on their own couch.
Though. It's been like, I understand it's your house, but my nose is like, you know.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we don't have any for bold, huh? Nobody's. No.
Yeah, I don't know who was really simpage John. Even Carter wasn't that simpage as we're used to seeing him this week. So
right. I agree. I don't think so. I guess it was Nicholas this week.
Nick across the board.
All right, y'all got anything else before we shut it down? Nope. Okay. All right, you guys, make sure that you hit the like button on the way out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and also follow on all of the other platforms. Stay tuned for the spoilers for both soaps for the January 27th through the 31st. This is the last week, and we began officially, I think, Thursday and Friday, February sweeps. And then we're counting down to Beyond the Gates. Less than, what's today? The 24th. So about a month from today, we'll be witnessing our first episode of The Gates. And there is a lot of interviews and videos and articles that was done by the cast members and the producers. So go check that stuff out as well. So, all right, y'all got anything else? Nope.
Oh man.
All right.
Stay warm.
Yeah, stay warm, because I'm telling you, it's been bone chilling here. And I know me, Jay, and Keish, we're in the Midwest, so we know what the cold. What is it like in Ohio, Keish?
It got up to, I think, 19 earlier today. Right now it's 14 degrees, and it feels like 6 degrees is what the app says.
Oh, okay, Keish, Ohio State.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Marchetti Notre Dame fans out there, I'm sorry. But, fun fact, the head coach of Notre Dame graduated from the local high school here.
Oh.
The high school my nephew went to.
Oh, cool. Yeah. All right, and I know some people have been asking about Trish. She still wants to come back, but, you know, she's still trying to sort through some things in her life right now. So, let's continue to send well wishes to Trish. And,
prayers to Trish.
Yeah, and she pops in. Yeah, she pops in every now and then to chat in the group chat, but, you know, she'll let us know when she's ready to actually go live again with us soon. Because, I mean, losing your husband after being married for over 3 decades, that's a big, huge change in her life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we love you, Trish. We'll
Love you,
see you. We'll
Trish.
hear from you soon. And yeah, prayers to people in California as well.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because I know we were talking about that last week where a lot of the actors and actresses lost their homes and things. Eric Braeden and Melissa Claire Egan and Jennifer Carice and quite a few folks that, lost their properties and stuff. So, all right, we're going to end it here. And until next time, we will see you guys later. Bye, Soapies.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Night, guys.